Chapter 982. An earth-shattering explosion occurred in the sky, shattering the sky covering array. At the same time, several Xingluo Heaven City experts lost their lives under the ferocious attacks of the three major clans. Watermark advertisement test Sha Tianya's meticulously trained experts lost their lives one after another, but it did not affect him in the slightest. He continued to display powerful Dao techniques, ferociously attacking Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi, suppressing their attacks. Slaughter Doppelganger Sword Puppet faintly unable to withstand Sha Tianya's ferocious attacks, Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi summoned their doppelgangers one after another, besieging Sha Tianya. Although the sword puppet's strength was greatly reduced without the sky crystal, its indestructible body became a natural barrier, constantly neutralizing Sha Tianya's killer move. 6 styles of thunder stare, a shocking will of the way exploded from Sha Tianya's body. It merged with the power of the Sky City, and formed an earth-shattering power of the Star Thunder. It was like a violent tidal wave that blasted towards Yi Chunfeng and Yi Chunfeng. Star Dao Diagram, Life and Death Dao Diagram. The dazzling Milky Way like wind and thunder surged over, but Xia Wendi did not retreat. Instead, she pushed her Star Dao Intent and Life and Death Dao Intent to the extreme, transforming them into 2 Dao diagrams, which blasted into the 6 styles of Thunder Star, constantly tearing apart the wind and thunder tide. Following that, Xia Wendi's body shone with starlight as she continuously slashed out 9 starlight swords, relying on her absolute attack to break Sha Tianya's killer move. 9 starlight swords. You're a member of the Xia clan? Sha Tianya raised his eyebrows, guessing Xia Wendi's identity through her Dao technique. You're right. Under Xia Wendi's control, the 4 beast flags transformed into a desolate beast, letting out a gut-wrenching roar as it opened its bloody mouth to bite Sha Tianya. When Sha Tianya relied on his absolute strength to shatter the 4 beast flags, Yi Chunfeng slashed out the boundless heavenly sword, slashing towards Sha Tianya's body. As the sword slashed out, Dao Intent erupted, revolving around the tip of the boundless heavenly sword. It was as if the boundless Dao evolved from heaven and earth, slashing towards Sha Tianya's chest, forcibly interrupting his continuous attack. Heavenly Mountain Dao Talisman. Sha Tianya was forced to retreat. Xia Wendi, with great tacit understanding, shot out the Heavenly Mountain Dao Talisman from the Gu Dao treasure. It pressed down on Sha Tianya like a mountain, continuing to shake his body. Heavenly Dazzling Thousand Sword Technique. Sha Tianya wielded the Sword of Slaughter and stabbed out dozens of times in an instant, transforming into dazzling swords of light that continuously slashed at the Sky Mountain Dao Talisman descending from the sky, forcibly repelling it. Suzaku Dingwith, a thought from Yi Chunfeng, the vermilion bird cauldron flew out of his body. As Yi Chunfeng spat out a mouthful of blood essence into the vermilion bird cauldron, the vermilion bird soul within the vermilion bird cauldron came to life, increasing the offensive power of the vermilion bird cauldron. The vermilion bird cauldron slammed towards Sha Tianya with a long fiery tail. Bang! The vermilion bird cauldron collided with Sha Tianya's Gu Fanxing and a deafening explosion resounded through the skies. Horizontal sword slash. At the instant when the 2 Gu Dao treasure collided, Yi Chunfeng relied on his powerful physical body to withstand the destructive impact. He stabbed out with extreme speed, piercing through the air towards Sha Tianya's chest. When Sha Tianya sensed how terrifying this sword was and wanted to dodge, a strong dizziness surged into his soul sea, causing his reaction to become slightly sluggish. Chi. The sound of flesh being pierced could be heard. The Emperor Heaven's sword directly pierced into his chest, stabbing towards his heart, wanting to pierce through his chest. However, when the Emperor Heaven's sword, with its astonishing offensive power, pierced into Sha Tianya's chest, it was blocked by a strong force. Even with the sharpness of the Emperor Heaven's sword, it was unable to pierce through. Sword Soul Fuse. With his attack blocked, Yi Chunfeng immediately fused his sword soul into the Emperor Heaven's sword, increasing the offensive power of this sword to the greatest extent. he attacked with all his strength. At this critical moment, Sha Tianya's hands moved slowly like flowing water. The terrifying power of the Heaven City surged out and ruthlessly struck towards Yi Chunfeng. Although Yi Chunfeng's physical body was comparable to a mid-grade Dao artifact, he did not dare to take Sha Tianya's attack head-on. Just as he summoned his universe sword array to defend, Sha Tianya quickly retreated, escaping this calamity. Star God Strike. When Sha Tianya was dodging, Xia Wendy mysteriously appeared in front of Sha Tianya's dodging trajectory. Her Star God bloodline was ignited, and a terrifying Star God shadow appeared on her body, launching a killing blow towards Sha Tianya. Bang! Sha Tianya, who could not dodge in time, was ruthlessly struck by the Star God strike. His body's defense was broken, and his entire body smashed into the ground like a cannonball, creating a large hole in the ground. Many Xingluo Heaven City experts were dumbfounded when they saw Sha Tianya, the mainstay of Xingluo Heaven City, being injured by Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy. This moment of distraction allowed Kong Sungchen and the others to seize the opportunity and heavily injure Sha Tianya, completely taking control of the situation. Father. Seeing Sha Tianya injured, Sha Bingyun, who was fiercely fighting with Qiangu Qiu, was also distracted. In a battle between experts, even the slightest mistake could lead to defeat. Blue Sky Seal. Qiangu Qiu did not waste this excellent opportunity. Surging heavenly power turned into a green ancient seal, which contained unparalleled destructive power and boundless heavenly power, and bombarded Sha Bingyun. Sensing danger, Sha Bingyun instinctively defended against the terrifying blue sky seal. After the first attack, Qiangu Qiu followed up with another attack. He circulated the blue sky secret art to the extreme, and ferocious attacks came one after another, giving Sha Bingyun no chance to catch her breath. Under his ferocious attacks, Sha Bingyun's offense was suppressed, and she was forced to retreat step by step. A stream of blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. Lian Xing's situation was even more dangerous. She had merged with Xingluo Heaven City's power. Although she was close to nirvana, she was far from being a match for the Black God Ant. The blood that spurted from her mouth had already dyed her clothes red. If not for Xingluo Heaven City's power continuously flowing into her body, she would have already lost the ability to fight and been killed by the Black God Ant. Sha Tianya. Your situation is over. Obediently accept your death. After taking control of the situation, Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy continued to launch ferocious attacks at Sha Tianya. In order to kill him in one fell swoop, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Cosmos Sword Array and merged his sword soul into it. He controlled the Cosmos Sword Array to attack Sha Tianya, wanting to kill him in one fell swoop to avenge the 8 Sha War Emperor. Chi under the attacks of the Cosmos Sword Array and the 2 Dao diagrams, Sha Tianya's offense was completely disintegrated. The sharp sword light pierced through his body, causing his injuries to worsen. Gu Fanqing's secret art. Despite being in danger, Sha Tianya clenched his teeth and persisted. He continuously merged the power of Heaven City into his body, turning it into a huge star that forcefully tore apart the Cosmos Sword Array. Dragon's Bloodline Ignition, True Dragon Transformation. Seeing that Sha Tianya had borrowed the power of Heaven City to tear apart the Cosmos Sword Array, Yi Chunfeng decisively ignited his Dragon's Bloodline Ignition, increasing his soul power by 7 times. He transformed into a true dragon that bared its fangs and brandished its claws, fiercely crashing into Gu Fanqing, who was under immense pressure. Boom! The terrifying true dragon directly broke through the ancient star patterns and tore apart Sha Tianya's defense. It fiercely slammed into his body, causing him to fall from the sky to the ground once again. It's over. Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy both used their ultimate moves to kill Sha Tianya. They wanted to take his life while he was down. You want to kill me? Try again in your next life. Sha Tianya roared and took out a fist-sized, pitch-black ball of light that was sealed with a large number of forbidden runes. He used it to block the incoming Dao skills. When the forbidden runes on the ball of light were about to be torn apart by Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi's ultimate move, Sha Tianya used his bloodied hands to crush the ball of light. A vast soul-guiding power spread out and sealed the void. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 983. Look, there's a graveyard in the sky. Heavens, what's going on? Why is there such a phenomenon at such a critical moment? Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Looking at the graveyard that appeared strangely in the sky due to the soul guidance's power, the spectators who were hiding in the distance widened their eyes in shock. Heavenly tomb. Why did the heavenly tomb appear? Could it be that there are more celestial souls in the heavenly tomb? Although the Luo Shun avatar killed the strongest Empyrean soul, the heavenly tomb was extremely vast. It was very likely that there were other celestial souls in it. This made Yi Chunfeng feel a little troubled. Hey Yen, in Xingluo Heavenly City, I am the heavens, the only ruler. Here, no one can shake me. Today, I'll let you experience the true terror of Xingluo Heavenly City. Sha Tianyao, who was covered in blood and heavily injured, revealed a sinister expression. He controlled the soul guidance's power to open the heavenly tomb that appeared strangely. In the next moment, Sha Tianyao ignited a large amount of blood and used his own blood as a guide to forcefully summon the celestial souls in the heavenly tomb to help him. Xia Wendi, we have to stop him quickly. Don't let him summon the celestial souls. Otherwise, our lives will be in danger. Seeing Sha Tianya's blood continuously pouring into the heavenly tomb, Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi immediately launched an attack at Sha Tianya. They wanted to destroy him and stop him from summoning the celestial souls. 2 late streams of death energy fell from the heavenly tomb like a silver river falling down, attacking Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi. Cosmos Sword Formation. Combined. Yi Chunfeng moved his hands and controlled the 18 spinning cosmos swords to merge together, forming a huge sword that could split heaven and earth. It carried the power of heaven and earth as it slashed towards the descending streams of death energy. Xia Wendi also launched a sure-kill attack at this moment. The Star God projection flashed, and the power of Dao intent reached the limit. The Star Dao diagram and the Life and Death Dao diagram struck out consecutively. Boom boom, the Cosmos Sword and the 2 Dao diagrams struck the descending streams of death energy. The terrifying power directly blasted a huge hole in the streams of death energy and bombarded Sha Tianya. But at this moment, more death energy descended like a violent waterfall, directly shattering the killing moves unleashed by Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi. Heroic spirits, the human clan wants to destroy the inheritance of my Tian clan. I ask the heroic spirits to protect the inheritance of my Tian clan, kill the strong enemies, and protect the inheritance of my Tian clan for thousands of years. Sha Tianya yelled out piously as he released his powerful blood chi. Woo woo woo, a series of bone-chilling cries rang out. Under the attraction of the soul guide power and blood chi power, 3 terrifyingly powerful celestial race souls broke out of the heavenly tomb and appeared in the heavenly starry sky city. The soul of the Tian clan. How could there be such a terrifying existence in Xingluo Heavenly City? What secrets were hidden here, and what was the inheritance of the Tian clan? I thought that Xingluo Sky City was going to change, but now it seems that the losers are the 3 great families. Many people didn't know the secrets of Xingluo Sky City, and they didn't know that the inheritance of the Xingluo Sky City came from the Tian clan. Sensing the terror of the 3 souls of the Tian clan that flew out of the sky tomb, they were all stunned. Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and the others, who had the absolute advantage and were basically in control of the situation, also revealed serious expressions. Although they hadn't fought, They could feel a deep sense of danger from the three souls of the Tian clan. The appearance of the three souls of the Tian clan had changed the situation, putting them in danger. Boom, 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 thunderous explosions rang out in the air. The three souls of the Tian clan released a terrifying soul energy that bombarded Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi, directly dispersing their attacks and sending them flying. Master, be careful. The Black God Ant saw that Xia Wendi was in danger and decisively gave up on killing Lian Xing. It flew toward Xia Wendi with a monstrous demonic aura and blocked in front of her, helping her dissolve the killing move of the three souls of the Tian clan. So strong, these three souls of the Tian clan were so strong when they were alive. They definitely surpassed me. Seeing the terror of the three souls of the Tian clan, the Black God Ant, whose demonic aura was surging within its body, revealed a grave expression. With its strength, it could only deal with one soul of the Tian clan at most. If it was surrounded by three souls of the Tian clan at the same time, it would be doomed. Hey Yen, you were able to force out the ancient secret of Xingluo Sky City. Even if you die, you can be proud. Seeing the appearance of the three souls of the Tian clan that had instantly turned the situation around and intimidated everyone, Sha Tianya revealed a sinister expression. Humph. You want to turn the situation around with just three souls of the Tian clan? You're too naive. Xia Wendi coldly snorted and took out the medallion that the Luo Shun had given her. In this dangerous situation, Xia Wendi had no choice but to use this trump card to deal with the three souls of the Tian clan. But a crisp, cracking sound rang out as Xia Wendi crushed the medallion. A powerful energy spread out from the medallion and turned into the Luo Shun's soul avatar. It wore an ancient Taoist robe and possessed unfathomable strength. It's you. Seeing the Luo Shun's aged face, the three souls of the Tian clan immediately recognized him. They revealed a surprised expression and did not dare to approach him. You three souls of the Tian clan, why did you come out to stir up trouble instead of staying in the Tianling cemetery? The Luo Shun's avatar coldly looked at the three souls of the Tian clan and spoke with killing intent. Old thing, you want to threaten our lives with just a remnant soul? The three souls of the Tian clan were arrogant. Although they were a little apprehensive of the Luo Shun's avatar's strength, they did not retreat. It's enough to kill you. As he spoke, the Luo Shun's avatar took a step forward and appeared in front of the three souls of the Tian clan like an illusory shadow. A large amount of Tao intent surged out of his body like starlight and launched a fierce attack at them. Although it was just an avatar, the Luo Shun's avatar's strength was beyond everyone's imagination. With a raise of his hand, the Tian clan's soul was sent flying. Father, who is this old Taoist? After seeing the Luo Shun's avatar fight the three souls of the Tian clan, Sha Bingyun, who had retreated to Sha Tianya's side, bit her lip and spoke with heavy injuries. Not only her, but even Sha Tianya did not expect that Yi Chunfeng's side would have such a trump card. He did not know. He had never seen this person before. The Luo Shun had not appeared for several tens of thousands of years. Thus, Sha Tianya and Lian Xing had never seen him before and did not know his identity. Father, if the 9th level of the heaven staircase shatters and the three souls of the Tian clan are defeated, do we still have anything to rely on? Sha Bingyun originally thought that with the appearance of the three souls of the Tian clan, the situation would immediately turn around. However, reality gave her a heavy blow, causing her to feel uneasy. Don't worry, the Tian clan will not let their inheritance be destroyed. The one who has the last laugh will definitely be us, Sha Tianya. A murderous light flashed in his eyes as he glanced at Lian Xing and Sha Bingyun. Senior, we'll help you. Yi Chunfeng was not sure if the Luo Shun's avatar would appear. Thus, his avatar was his strongest trump card. In order to prevent any accidents, Yi Chunfeng, Xia Wendi, Qingu Qiu, and the Black God Ant rushed forward to help the Luo Shun's avatar deal with the souls of the Tian clan. They wanted to kill them as soon as possible and take control of the situation. Mobile reading website, book address, To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 984. Alright, let's end this quickly. The Luo Shin clone nodded. A large amount of will of Tao continued to condense into various forms of attacks, attacking the Divine Clan's soul, who was the strongest, and suppressing his attacks. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Master, be careful. The Black God Ant warned as he transformed into his most powerful battle form. Astonishing power erupted from his body as he charged toward one of the divine race souls and engaged in a fierce battle. Let's go. Yi Chunfeng and the others didn't hesitate either. They all ignited their bloodline power and attacked the last divine race soul, whose power was comparable to Nirvana's. Blue sky seal. As Yi Chunfeng and the others closed in, the divine race soul opened its mouth and spat out a seal of light. The seal was like a towering mountain as it crashed into the divine race soul. Although Yi Chunfeng and Qinguqiu had both cultivated the green sky technique and formed the blue sky seal, their blue sky seal was far inferior to the blue sky seal formed by the divine race soul. Sword puppet. When Yi Chunfeng saw that the mountain-like clear sky seal was about to strike him, he summoned the sword spirit puppet and used its indestructible body to take on the clear sky seal. Boom! The blue sky seal struck the sword puppet, instantly depleting half of its energy. Terrifying explosive power exploded on the sword puppet's body and forced it back. Boundless heavenly sword strike of the star god. Myriad Tao swords as one seizing the opportunity when the sword spirit puppet was clashing head-on with the blue heaven seal. Yi Chunfeng and the other two raised the power of their Tao wills to the limit and executed their killing moves. Like meteors falling to the ground, they attacked the divine soul. The terrifying might was like a boundless ocean, blotting out the sky and covering the sun. It ruthlessly smashed into the soul of the Tian clan, forcefully causing cracks to appear on his body. Puny humans, I'll devour you! With its body injured, the divine race soul immediately went berserk. It borrowed the power of the heavenly tomb to repair the cracks on its body. It then unleashed its most powerful attack toward Yi Chunfeng and the others. Purple Beginnings. Lightning was the nemesis of all souls. Yi Chunfeng immediately unleashed his Purple Beginnings lightning in response to the divine race soul's attack. Violent holy lightning gushed out of his body, transforming into a giant lightning dragon. Thunder roared, and its might spread out in all directions, shaking the entire space. Heavenly Tao Disc. The celestial soul grew serious. It immediately mobilized the power of the heavens to form a disc of heavenly Tao. It forcefully blocked the lightning dragon and continuously shredded it. Vermilion bird. Heavenly mountain Tao talisman. A Pelgonger demonic puppet. When the soul of the celestial race clashed head-on with the holy thunder of Purple Beginnings, Yi Chunfeng and the other two unleashed their killing moves one after another. They attacked the twisting void, causing space to blur and the heavenly Tao disc, wanting to destroy it. Boom! 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 Terrifying explosions rang out incessantly. The shock waves from the explosions were like the wrath of a god. They spread out in all directions, causing cracks to appear on the ancient walls of Xingluo Heavenly City. Seeing that the heavenly Tao compass was unable to withstand the ferocious attacks of Yi Chunfeng and the others, the heavenly race's soul borrowed the power of the heavenly tomb and suddenly exerted its strength. It pushed against the two great ancient Tao treasures, and two terrifying clones closed in on Yi Chunfeng and the others. Boom! In the next moment, the heavenly Tao disc exploded. A terrifying explosive force blasted toward Yi Chunfeng and the others. Although Yi Chunfeng and the others managed to dodge in time, they were still injured by the heavenly Tao disc's explosion. Apart from Yi Chunfeng, Xia Wendi and Qinguqiu's bodies were injured to varying degrees. Large amounts of blood spurted out from their mouth. Blood Demon Diagram. Although Yi Chunfeng and the others' talents were unprecedented, they were still no match for the divine race soul with Nirvana's strength. Yi Chunfeng quickly summoned the Blood Demon Diagram, using this evil artifact to forcefully increase his strength. Let's go. Kill Qianguqiu first, then He Yan. Sha Tianya and the other two stabilized their injuries and attacked Yi Chunfeng and the others together. They wanted to take advantage of their experience to kill Qianguqiu, who was relatively weaker. When Sha Tianya and the others approached with the power of Xingluo Heavenly City, Kong Sungchen and the others intercepted them. Using their Dao treasures, they launched attacks at Sha Tianya and the others, diverting their attention and preventing them from approaching Yi Chunfeng and the others. Courting death. Sha Tianya's eyes were filled with murderous intent. The 6 styles of Thunder Star surged madly, crushing the attacks of Kong Sungchen and the others, forcing them to retreat. However, Kong Sungchen and the others had lived for more than 10,000 years. They had many trump cards. Coupled with the fact that they were level 6 combat beast emperors, they were able to resist the 6 styles of Thunder Star for a while. Defeating armies. Who do you think will have the last laugh? Although Ren Tu chose Yi Chunfeng's side at the last moment and joined forces with defeating armies to heavily injure Yu Feng and the others, he never expected that Xingluo Heavenly City would have so many secrets. Seeing the chaotic situation before him, he felt a trace of unease. Because he knew that if he chose the wrong side, what awaited him would be death. Victory for the human race's legacy. Defeating armies looked at the people who were fighting fiercely with a deep gaze and spat out these words. Why did things develop to this extent? Ren Tu sighed softly. He regretted his rashness just now, which led to him cutting off his own path of retreat. After fusing with the power of the Blood Demon Diagram, Yi Chunfeng's strength rose sharply, reaching level 5 Combat Beast Emperor. However, under the influence of the evil power of the Blood Demon Diagram, Yi Chunfeng's soul showed signs of losing control, and a terrifying evil aura erupted from his body. However, under the control of the God-Eater brain, the evil power that invaded Yi Chunfeng's mind was devoured. Yi Chunfeng immediately summoned the Qiankuan sword formation and used all his strength to destroy the divine race's soul. With the strength of a level 5 combat beast emperor, Yi Chunfeng's control of the Qiankuan sword formation increased exponentially. With the help of Xia Wendi and Qianguqiu, the divine race's soul was gradually suppressed. Qiankuan sword formation fuse into one. When the divine race's soul was suppressed, Yi Chunfeng immediately fused his sword soul into the Qiankuan sword formation. He controlled the 18 Qiankuan swords to fuse together and attacked with Xia Wendi and Qianguqiu. However, when Yi Chunfeng controlled the Qiankuan sword formation to attack with all its strength, 2 extremely fast shadows appeared, surpassing the speed of light. They held incomparably sharp killer swords and stabbed at Yi Chunfeng. At this critical moment, the 2 kings of assassins, who had been hiding all this time, made their move. They wanted to heavily injure Yi Chunfeng. The timing was perfect. Yi Chunfeng, who was controlling the Qiankuan ring, was unable to dodge, and Xia Wendi and the others were unable to save him. However, Yi Chunfeng's face did not reveal the slightest trace of panic, nor did he try to dodge. He allowed the 2 kings of assassins to stab him in the back. Qi Shiqi's soul power defenses were broken, and the incomparably sharp killer swords stabbed into Yi Chunfeng's back, sending blood splattering through the air. However, after piercing Yi Chunfeng's skin, the 2 kings of assassins discovered that no matter how much force they exerted, their killer swords were unable to penetrate any further. Yi Chunfeng's Godfiend body, which was comparable to a high-grade Dao tool, was able to completely block the killer sword. Just as they were shocked and wanted to quickly withdraw, a terrifying force of dizziness violently blasted into their soul seas, causing them to feel slightly dizzy. Sensing the danger, they forcefully dispelled the dizziness. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng's hands quickly formed a series of hand seals. Surging Tao intent and over 100 million kilograms of power surged into the blue sky seal before crashing down on them. Boom, boom, boom. 2 resounding booms erupted. The 2 kings of assassins' bodies were blasted apart by the blue sky seal, and they died on the spot. Yi Qianfeng's domineering killing of the 2 kings of assassins stunned many people. His terrifying strength had seeped into the depths of everyone's soul. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 985. None of us should be alive in this world. Let's perish together. The instant Yi Qianfeng killed the 2 kings of assassins, a furious roar shook the 9 heavens. The Sky Race's soul, who was at an absolute disadvantage in the battle with Luo Shen's clone, didn't hesitate to burn his soul body and borrow the heavenly tomb's power to deal a fatal blow to Luo Shen's clone, wanting to destroy him. Bang bang! The Luo god's avatar revealed a solemn expression as the power of death that could destroy the heavens and the earth came crashing down. He didn't hesitate to detonate both his arms, turning them into a yin-yang disc. Within the yin-yang disc, 2 small fish formed from Tao will slowly swam about. Yin-yang Pisces disc break! Luo Shen's avatar roared, and the yin-yang disc with the little fish flowing on it went up to meet the incoming death energy, fiercely repelling it. Then, an explosion that was loud enough to make one's eardrums explode suddenly rang out. It shook the void to the point that it cracked and filled the space within a few miles. No. Under the yin-yang Pisces disc's full power attack, the incoming power of death was gradually dispersed. The Sky Race's soul, whose soul power was burning, let out a painful howl as it was destroyed by the yin-yang Pisces disc, dissipating between heaven and earth. Not good. Sha Tianya and the other 2 had completely suppressed Jiang Xingqian and the other 2 in terms of offense, forcing them to retreat step by step. When they saw the Luo Shen's avatar explode the soul of a divine race, their hearts fell to the bottom. The Star Emperor's clone was controlling the Xingluo heavenly wall to fight against the 9 heavenly layers. If the 3 Sky Race's souls were destroyed, then unless they had strong reinforcements, only death would await them. However, Sha Tianyao wasn't sure if there were any almighty Sky Races living in the Xingluo continent after so many years. If there weren't any, then they wouldn't be able to escape this calamity. Gu Fanxing art the situation was critical. Sha Tianyao and Lian Xing, who had a complicated heart, worked together to form several Gu Fanxing covered in Tao patterns. They bombarded Kong Sungchen's group, sending them flying. Then, they closed in on Yi Qianfeng's group, wanting to kill Yi Qianfeng's group first. Buzz! As Sha Tianyao and the other 2 approached, ripples appeared in front of their eyes. Luo Shen's clone, who had lost both of his arms, stood in front of them, blocking their path. Let's do this together. Seeing the Luo Shen's clone exploding his arms, Sha Tianyao and the other 2 controlled the heaven-suppressing orb to borrow the power of the Heaven City to attack him. They wanted to borrow the external force to kill him. Facing the attack of the Heavenly City, the Luo Shen clone didn't evade. With a slight shift of his body, he transformed into a sword and slashed out. A terrifying sword might directly tore apart the Heavenly City's energy as it slashed towards Sha Tianyao and the other 2. Gu Fanxingwan Bing Pan Xingluo's doppelganger Luoshan transformed into a sword and slashed out a sword light. Sha Tianyao and the other 2 immediately controlled their Gu Dao treasure to defend against this sword attack. After that attack, the Luo Shen clone, who had lost both arms, continued to attack. Relying on its absolute strength, it forcibly suppressed Sha Tianyao and the other 2. Soon, Sha Bingyun, who was the weakest, was severely injured by Luo Shen's clone. She left behind a cloud of blood in the air and fell to the ground. While the Luo Shen clone was ferociously attacking Sha Tianyao and the other 2, the black god ant constantly let out a shocking roar and released powerful demonic energy to attack. Under its all-out attack, the divine race's soul that was fighting fiercely with it was getting more and more injured. The heavenly mausoleum's power that was continuously infusing into the divine race's soul was unable to repair the cracks in his soul body. Kacha kacha! All of a sudden, a huge explosion sounded above the chaotic void. The 9-level heavenly stair couldn't withstand the Xingluo's heavenly wall's attack. Suddenly, cracks appeared on it. The terrifying collision caused a mountain in the distance to crack. The cracks were as smooth as a mirror. Thump thump, their attacks were countered by the Luo Shin clone, and the 9-level heavenly stair couldn't withstand the Xingluo's heavenly wall. This caused Sha Tianya and the other two's hearts to fall into a bottomless abyss. Although Sha Tianya didn't want to accept his fate and didn't want to die, he had already used up all his trump cards. There was no other way to turn the situation around. The only thing that could save them was the heavens. Demon weeping mountains and rivers, the black god ant seized the opportunity and released its strongest demonic energy and power. It forcefully used its bloodline ability and launched its most powerful attack at the divine race's soul. The terrifying demonic energy was like a violent storm. It ruthlessly bombarded the divine race's soul's body, directly blasting it apart and killing the second divine race's soul. After killing its opponent, the black god ant, whose demonic energy soared to the sky, immediately appeared beside Xia Wendy, who was attacking with all her might. Together, they attacked the last divine race's soul. With the help of the black god ant, the pressure on Yi Chunfeng and the others was greatly reduced. Under their ferocious attacks, the divine race's soul's injuries became more and more serious. It couldn't withstand their tide-like attacks. The situation was over. Sha Tianya and the others' situation was over. Luckily, I bet on the right treasure and stood on the right team. If that He Yen controls Xingluo Heaven City, I should be able to obtain quite a lot of benefits after contributing so much. Looking at the situation, Rentu secretly heaved a sigh of relief. A faint smile appeared on his cold and arrogant face as he fantasized about his beautiful future. PFFF. PFFF. Luo Shin's clone suddenly exerted strength and continuously slashed out peerless sword lights. It broke through Sha Tianya and Lian Xing's Gu Fanxing and sent them flying. They were all heavily injured at the same time. Sha Tianya and the other two were injured. Yi Chunfeng and the others also had an overwhelming advantage and heavily injured the last divine race's soul. In the end, the divine race's soul couldn't withstand the ferocious attacks of Yi Chunfeng, the black god ant and the others. It unwillingly self-destructed its soul body and launched a fatal attack at Yi Chunfeng and the others. However, with the black god ant and the 3 clones defending, Yi Chunfeng and the other 2 weren't injured. Sha Tianya, you bastard who killed your master and ancestors. The situation is over. Die. Looking at Sha Tianya, who fell to the ground and created a huge crater, Yi Chunfeng instantly fused with the Emperor Sky Sword and stabbed forward with the linear sword. He wanted to end Sha Tianya's sinful life. Suddenly, a strange cough resounded. A hunchbacked old woman with snow-white hair and wearing a yellow robe appeared in front of Sha Tianya. She was holding onto a dragon-headed walking stick. She stretched out 2 fingers towards the Emperor Sky's sword that was thrusting over. Buzz! A series of deafening sword cries rang out. The Emperor Sky sword that could pierce through a level 6 combat beast emperor was caught by the hunchbacked old woman's wrinkled fingers. A power that exceeded Yi Chunfeng's imagination passed through the Emperor Sky sword and into his arm. It directly shook off his right hand that was holding onto the Emperor Sky sword, injuring his arm and sending him flying. Yi Chunfeng. Seeing Yi Chunfeng flying back while vomiting blood, Xia Wendy's heart tightened and she immediately hugged him. However, the moment she hugged Yi Chunfeng, Xia Wendy was also injured by the recoil from Yi Chunfeng's body. Her blood and qi started to churn. You dare to kill my divine race's heroic spirit and destroy my divine race's foundation? The hunchbacked old woman revealed a domineering aura. A heaven's hand strangely descended and grabbed onto the Luo Shun clone that had lost both of its arms. The terrifying power forcefully tore the Luo Shun clone apart. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 986. What? Who is that person? Why is she so powerful? She was able to crush the old Taoist's clone with her huge hand. Could that old lady be a true sky race expert? There were too many secrets hidden in Xingluo Sky City. Today was an eye-opener. The crowd hiding in the distance was shocked when they saw the old lady using her hand of heaven to crush the Luo Shin clone. They looked as if they had seen a ghost. F***CK. Is the heavens playing with me? Why is there another change? Seeing more and more cracks on the Luo Shin clone, Butcher's eyes widened. He cursed out loud. Large amounts of cold sweat appeared on his forehead as he thought of running away. He did not expect that there were still sky race experts in Xingluo continent. More and more cracks appeared on the Luo Shin clone's body, but he was still calm. He looked at the old lady who was full of wrinkles and had a stern look in her eyes. He was neither happy nor sad. I am a dying man. If you did not want to destroy my sky race's inheritance, I would not have come. The old lady concealed the stern look in her eyes and said indifferently, "This is not your world. You should just go back to where you came from." Although he was on the verge of destruction, the Luo Shin clone was fearless and said slowly, "Luo Shin, you want to threaten me with a mere clone? You are too naive." The hunchbacked old woman revealed a mocking expression. She increased the power of her hand of heaven and crushed the Luo Shin clone. The heavens are helping me. It is the heavens that are helping me. There are still sky race experts in Xingluo continent who are not dead. When Sha Tianya saw the stooped old woman crush the Luo Shin's clone, he revealed a look of pleasant surprise. With the old lady's support, even if the Star Emperor's clone controlled the Xingluo sky wall to destroy the 9 levels of the sky stage, it would not shake their foundation. The Xingluo Sky City would still be their world. After eliminating the 3 great clans, there would be no one in Xingluo continent who could go against them. Little ant, I wonder if you still recognize me. After crushing the Luo Shin's doppelganger, the hunchbacked old woman cast her gaze towards the low-grade sacred beast, Black God Ant, and said indifferently, "Of course I know her. Even if you turned into ashes, I would still recognize you." The Black Divine Ant looked at the old woman with hatred in his eyes and said, "If Star Emperor hadn't saved me that year, I would have been killed by you. Not being able to kill you back then was indeed an accident. Today I want to see who can save you." Although the hunchbacked old woman did not emit a terrifying aura, her silence as she stood in the air gave off an extremely oppressive feeling. It was as if she was a primordial beast that could tear them apart with a single bite. "Don't panic. If there is any danger, I will send you to the universe realm. With the defense of the universe realm, you should be able to withstand her attack." The universe realm was Yi Chunfeng's final escape route. With the defense of the universe realm, it was enough to block the attacks of the old woman. "Get out of here." Suddenly, a deep voice came from the Xingluo celestial wall. At the critical moment, the Xingluo celestial wall forcibly shook open the 9 levels of the heaven staircase, and with the power to annihilate the void, it bombarded the old woman. "Go." Yi Chunfeng and the others did not waste this opportunity. Taking advantage of the time when the hunchbacked old woman shook the Xingluo celestial wall, they quickly escaped from the Xingluo celestial wall. Under the continuous attack of the heaven-exterminating Great Formation, the Great Formation that enveloped the Xingluo celestial wall was full of cracks, creating an excellent opportunity for Yi Chunfeng and the others to escape. "Humph, no one can leave today." Seeing Yi Chunfeng and the others break out of the encirclement and escape, The hunchbacked old woman who had shaken open the Xingluo celestial wall gently took a step forward. A large amount of energy ripples appeared under her feet. In the next moment, as if she had teleported, she appeared and intercepted Yi Chunfeng and the others, not giving them a chance to break out of the encirclement. "Let me send you to hell." The hunchbacked old woman's silver hair fluttered in the wind. Like a killing god, she launched a killing blow at Yi Chunfeng and the others, wanting to kill them. "I'm afraid I can't let you do as you wish." A vigorous voice rang out. The hunchbacked old woman's killing blow shattered inch by inch like glass. Before it could reach Yi Chunfeng, it dissipated. Slap! The crisp sound of a slap rang out. When the hunchbacked old woman who was filled with killing intent turned around, a large old hand ruthlessly slapped her cheek, directly sending her flying. Silence, incomparable silence. Witnessing the scene of the haughty and insufferably arrogant hunchbacked old woman being slapped and sent flying, everyone present seemed to have been immobilized. They stood dumbfounded on the spot, dumbfounded by the scene before them. Heavens, am I dreaming? Who is this person? How can he be so fierce? To slap a powerful being from the celestial race, our Xingluo continent still has such an expert? Everyone who had regained their senses turned to look at the blurry figure that had mysteriously appeared. When they saw the person who had slapped the hunchbacked old woman, they looked as if they had seen a ghost. A knife in his chest. Who is that old Taoist? Why does he have a knife in his chest? Does he think it's cool? Look at him. Doesn't he look like the clone of a powerful being from the celestial race? It really is him. Damn, too many things have happened today. Who knows who will have the last laugh? Looking at the old Taoist who was gradually revealing his true appearance, the entire Xingluo continent was in an uproar. Gulp, defeating armies, who do you think will win? Butcher gulped as he wiped the sweat off his forehead. He looked at defeating armies, who had a calm expression on his face, and said uneasily, "The human race's legacy will win." Defeating armies repeated what he had just said. "Let's hope so. Otherwise, we're finished." Butcher let out a heavy breath and suppressed the uneasiness in his heart as he muttered to himself. "Luotian, you dare to hit me?" Looking at the old Taoist who had slapped her in front of everyone, the hunchbacked old woman's eyes spat out thick flames of hatred. The terrifying power caused the space around her to constantly distort. "Why wouldn't I dare to hit you?" Luotian, who was wearing an ancient Taoist robe and had a dagger in her chest, smiled faintly. "You." The hunchbacked old woman was about to vomit blood. As the only powerful being from the celestial race left in the Xingluo continent, she had never been humiliated like this. However, Luotian's power was too terrifying. She had some scruples. "Senior, you really came." Seeing Luotian appear in time, Yi Chunfeng's heart calmed down. He immediately stepped forward and bowed. With Luotian's support, all problems would be easily solved. "Little rascal, you already knew that I would come, didn't you?" Luotian said calmly. "If it wasn't for this old mother, we would have destroyed the celestial race's inheritance without your help." Yi Chunfeng said respectfully. "Stinking brat." Hearing Yi Chunfeng call her old mother, the hunchbacked old woman was so angry that her liver hurt. She really wanted to tear Yi Chunfeng's mouth apart. This brat really didn't know how to talk. "Leave her to me. I'll leave the rest to you," Luotian said slowly. "Since you want to destroy the celestial race's inheritance, I'll help you." "Thank you, Senior," Yi Chunfeng said gratefully. "Luotian, are you really going to fight to the death with me?" The hunchbacked old woman said angrily. "It's not that I'm going to fight to the death." As she spoke, Luotian took a step forward. With the terrifying power of Tao, she attacked the hunchbacked old woman. The two most powerful people in the Xingluo continent were fighting fiercely in the sky above the Xingluo Sky City. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 987. Crack. Crack. Luo Shen and the old woman's attacks collided. There was no shocking power, no tearing of the void, and no ripples. Watermark advertisement test. However, in the eyes of Yi Chunfeng and the others, their attacks were shocking. The two powerful attacks corroded and penetrated each other. Even a 6th-level beast emperor would be shocked to death by these two forces. Luo Shen, we could use one blade in the past, and we can do the same now. Today I will skin you alive. The old woman gritted her teeth and roared as she attacked. Do you know why I didn't pull out this knife? Luo Shen revealed an enigmatic smile and said, I am constantly reminding myself that I will always remember the shame of the past. I will never pull out this knife until I kill all of you alien tribe people. Why? Do you want to take revenge on me? The old woman said disdainfully. I can't take revenge on the divine clan, but I can still destroy you. Luo Shen increased the intensity of her attack. The glittering Tao continuously bombarded the old woman, and the space in front of her kept ripping. Luo Shen and the old woman fought fiercely. The Xingluo sky wall controlled by Star Emperor's clone also collided fiercely with the 9 levels in the void. As time passed, more and more cracks appeared on the 9 levels. It could not withstand the Xingluo sky wall's attacks and could shatter at any time. Sky measuring ruler unable to withstand Luo Shen's attacks, the old woman spat out a middle-grade sky measuring ruler covered with ancient patterns. It shattered Luo Shen's attacks and counterattacked with all her strength. Junior, lend me the 9-dragon jade wall. After dodging the attack of the sky measuring ruler, Luo Shen sent a voice transmission to Yi Chunfeng. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and lent the Supreme Grade 9 Dragon Jade Wall to Luo Shen without hesitation. Supreme Grade Saint Treasure. Feeling the destructive power of the 9 Dragon Jade Wall, the old woman showed a trace of seriousness. She did not expect that there would be a Supreme Grade Saint Treasure in such a low-grade world. Roar! Roar! 3 deafening dragon roars rang out as Luo Shen poured a terrifying will of Tao into the 9 Dragon Jade Annulus. Instantly, 3 ferocious dragons flew out of the 9 Dragon Jade Annulus and collided with the heaven-measuring ruler. The terrifying power directly shattered the ruler shadows created by the heaven-measuring ruler and flew toward the hunchbacked old woman, forcing her to retreat. Luo Shen used the 9 Dragons Jade Annulus to suppress the hunchbacked old woman, while Yi Chunfeng and the rest launched their attacks at Sha Tianyao and the other 2. As long as they could kill them, there was nothing to fear about the others. Seeing Yi Chunfeng and the others flying towards him at high speed, Sha Tianyao was filled with unwillingness. He felt that the heavens were toying with him, giving him hope time and time again, only to destroy it time and time again. If not for his high tolerance, he would have long gone mad. However, he did not accept his fate, nor could he accept it. He quickly controlled the heaven-suppressing orb and merged it with the power of the Heaven City to suppress the injuries on his body. He tried his best to increase his strength and fight with everything he had. At this moment, Lian Xing and Sha Bingyun also merged with the power of the Xingluo Heaven City and fought alongside Sha Tianyao. They fought fiercely against Yi Chunfeng and the others in the air. After merging with the power of the Xingluo Heaven City, Sha Tianyao and the other 2's strength reached a terrifying level. In addition to the amplification of their beast soul form, they had surpassed the limit of a Grade 6 combat beast emperor. However, the Black God Ant's strength was too terrifying. In its battle form, it completely suppressed Sha Tianyao and shattered his attack. Its surging demonic energy forced Sha Tianyao to retreat. Lian Xing, the 8 Slaughter War Emperor, had truly misjudged you. A shameless and vicious woman like you should have gone to hell long ago. Yi Chunfeng attacked Lian Xing and humiliated her at the same time. Hearing Yi Chunfeng repeatedly mentioning the 8 Slaughter War Emperor, Lian Xing's heart was in a mess. She wanted to open her mouth to explain, but she found that she did not know where to start. However, in her mind, memories that had been imprinted in the deepest part of her soul, memories that she had sealed a long time ago, appeared. The appearance of these memories completely scattered her energy and affected her attacks. She was constantly attacked by Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi, and her injuries continued to worsen. Xingluo's doppelganger was killing them. Sha Bingyun continuously spat out blood essence into Xingluo's doppelganger, increasing his attacks and defending herself against the attacks of Qingu Qiu, the slaughter doppelganger, and the devil puppet. However, the attacks of Qingu Qiu and the others were too ferocious. Sha Bingyun's doppelganger's strength could not withstand them at all. Qi. A sword ray streaked across the sky at an astonishing speed. The flying snow sword in Qingu Qiu's hand pierced through Sha Bingyun's lower abdomen, breaking through her defenses and penetrating her body. A large amount of blood spurted out. Bingyun. Seeing that Sha Bingyun was heavily injured, Lian Xing's heart tightened. Without any hesitation, she ignited her blood essence to block Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendi's attacks. However, just as she was about to withdraw, Xia Wendi unleashed the star diagram and life and death Dao diagram. They smashed into Lian Xing's body, cutting off her opportunity to rescue Sha Bingyun and heavily injuring her body, sending her flying. While Lian Xing and Sha Bingyun were both heavily injured, Luo Shun borrowed the might of the nine-dragon jade annulus to completely suppress the old woman's attack. Victory was only a matter of time. Luo Shun, I'll spare your life today. Sooner or later, my heavenly race's supreme expert will seek justice for me. Unable to block the nine-dragon jade annulus attacks, the old woman's injuries continued to worsen. With one of her arms hanging limply, she wanted to break out of the encirclement. Wasn't it too late to leave now? The yin-yang Dao diagram rose from Luo Shun's body and sealed the entire space. She wanted to trap the silver-haired old man in Xingluo Heavenly City and kill him. Heaven Measuring Ruler, so close, yet so far. The old woman quickly fused with the Heaven Measuring Ruler and unleashed her strongest attack. The terrifying Heaven Measuring Ruler was like a white dragon, forcibly tearing apart the yin-yang Dao diagram. In the next instant, the old woman raised her speed to the peak and fled out of Xingluo Heavenly City as if she had teleported. You won't be able to escape. Luo Shun chased after the old woman as she tried her best to break out of the encirclement. She was determined to kill her and eliminate any future troubles. Damn it! Several thoughts flashed through Sha Tianya's mind when he saw his greatest reliance, the old woman, escape. In the end, he cast his gaze toward Lian Xing and Sha Bingyun, who were getting more and more injured and had almost no strength to resist. Die for me! The black god ant roared and a heaven-shaking power erupted from its arms as it punched toward Sha Tianya. Suddenly, Sha Tianya's blood and qi started to burn. His body flashed and turned into several afterimages, dodging the black god ant's attack. Then, he appeared behind Lian Xing, who was sent flying by Xia Wendi, and hugged her voluptuous body. Just when Lian Xing wanted to take a breather and stabilize her injuries under Sha Tianya's protection, she suddenly felt her body's defenses being broken. A large hand pierced into her body and grabbed her heart. Tian Tianya. When Lian Xing turned around, she met with Sha Tianya's merciless and bloodthirsty eyes. She never imagined that Sha Tianya would want to kill her. Rather than both of us dying, why don't you protect me and let me take revenge for you too? Sha Tianya coldly said. After saying that, Sha Tianya crushed her heart and took away the heaven-suppressing orb that she had refined and fused it with his body. I'm so foolish, I'm so hateful. On her deathbed, tears flowed out of Lian Xing's eyes as she watched Sha Tianya charge toward the heavily injured Sha Bingyun. She died in despair and regret. After mercilessly killing Lian Xing, Sha Tianya arrived behind Sha Bingyun. Under her terrified gaze, he chopped off her head and took away the heaven-suppressing orb. Even a vicious tiger would eat its own cubs. At the moment of life and death, Sha Tianya had gone mad. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 988. 3 Heaven-Suppressing Pearls as One. After mercilessly killing the 2 people closest to him, the bloodthirsty Sha Tianya immediately recognized 2 heaven-suppressing pearls as their master. He then merged the 3 pearls together and channeled the power of the Heaven City into his body. 1 heaven-suppressing pearl was enough to raise Sha Tianya's strength to nirvana, and 3 heaven-suppressing pearls allowed Sha Tianya's strength to be close to nirvana's. This was also the reason why he mercilessly killed Lian Xing and Sha Bingyun. If he wanted to survive in this predicament and kill his way out, he had to borrow the 3 heaven-suppressing pearls and channel the power of the Heaven City to the greatest extent. As the 3 heaven-suppressing pearls shone brightly, Sha Tianya's strength skyrocketed. He didn't fight for long and relied on his absolute strength to break out of the Xingluo Heaven City. He wanted to leave as soon as possible and find a chance to make a comeback. Don't let him escape. Yi Chunfeng didn't expect Sha Tianya to be so vicious and ruthless to the point of mercilessly killing his wife and children. Sha Tianya's selfish and vicious actions had touched Yi Chunfeng's reverse scale, and he was determined to kill this murderer. Star Dao Diagram, Life and Death Dao Diagram. While Sha Tianya was trying his best to break out of the encirclement, Xia Wendy blocked in front of him. The 2 Dao diagrams intertwined and released a terrifying Dao intent towards Sha Tianya. The power of the Star Dao Diagram and Life and Death Dao Diagram was extremely terrifying, but Sha Tianya's strength was too terrifying. Borrowing the power of the Xingluo Heaven City, he quickly punched out twice. The terrifying fist radiance intertwined with innate Dao patterns and directly shattered the 2 Dao diagrams. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Suppress. When the 2 Dao diagrams were destroyed, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Vermilion Bird Cauldron to descend from the sky and suppress Sha Tianya. Heaven arraying palm strike. The Vermilion Bird Cauldron was like a living mountain of fire that came crashing down. Sha Tianya quickly executed a terrifying Dao skill to counter it. Layers of heaven arraying palm strikes landed on the Vermilion Bird Cauldron consecutively. The powerful recoil caused the soul of the Vermilion Bird to howl in pain. After breaking through Yi Chunfeng and Xia Wendy's attacks, Sha Tianya didn't slow down and continued to break out of the encirclement. Heaven and Earth. At this moment, the Black Divine Ant blocked in front of Sha Tianya again. Its terrifying demonic power and physical strength fused together, shattering the void and earth as it blasted towards Sha Tianya. The Black God Ant's strength was too terrifying. Its earth-shattering demonic energy shattered Sha Tianya's attack and stopped him. Courting death, Sha Tianya's eyes shot out a thick killing intent. The power of the Heaven City transformed into 2 giant hands of energy and was about to attack the Black God Ant, forcing it to retreat. Suddenly, a powerful soul-suppressing force blasted into his soul sea. Although he was already on guard, his reaction was still slightly sluggish. Strike of the Stars. Xia Wendy appeared in the air. Her star god bloodline ignited, transforming into a star god phantom. It was as if a boundless sea of stars fell to the ground, bombarding Sha Tianya. Gu Fanxing Formula. Sha Tianya, who had come back to his senses, defended with all his might. The rolling will of the Tao transformed into numerous stars that sealed off the space in front of him and collided with the star god projection. In an instant, a large amount of Tao light filled the void, causing the space to tremble violently. Sha Tianya relied on his absolute strength to forcefully tear apart the star god's attack. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng, the Black God Ant, Qianguqiu, Kong Sungchen, and the rest surrounded Sha Tianya and attacked him fiercely, not giving him a chance to escape. 6 styles of wind and lightning. Sha Tianya did not panic as waves of attacks surged towards him. He evolved his Tao intent to the extreme, transforming it into a sea of wind and lightning. He continuously tore apart Yi Chunfeng and the rest's attacks as he slowly approached the edge of Xingluo Heaven City. Universe Sword Formation. Seeing that Sha Tianya had broken through the encirclement, Yi Qinfeng's entire body merged with the Cosmos Sword Formation. Under the amplification of the sword spirit, he formed a terrifying sword diagram that attacked Sha Tianya, forcefully blocking his path. As Yi Qinfeng attacked with all his might, the Purple Beginning's holy lightning also surged out under his control, bombarding Sha Tianya's body. Hey Yen, sooner or later, I will kill you! Sha Tianya looked at Yi Qinfeng with hatred. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have fallen to such a state. At this moment, he wanted nothing more than to eat Yi Qinfeng's flesh, drink his blood and tear him into pieces. That day would never come. Yi Qinfeng sneered, controlling the Universe Sword Formation to attack with all its might, preventing Sha Tianya from escaping. Killing his wife and son, even if Sha Tianya managed to escape, it would be too late. There would no longer be a place for him in the Xingluo continent. That's right, I didn't expect Sha Tianya to be so ruthless. For himself, he killed the people closest to him. This kind of person doesn't deserve to live in this world. Looking at the trapped Sha Tianya, the Bai family, Jiang family, and Jasper Palace's experts gathered together and discussed in low voices. Take a guess, if Sha Tianya was killed, who would become the new city lord of Xingluo Heaven City? Was there a need to guess? Other than him, who else could it be? At this moment, the same person appeared in the minds of the three superpowers experts. That person had completely subdued them. The longer the battle dragged on, the more disadvantageous it would be for Sha Tianya. Slowly, Sha Tianya lost his patience. He stimulated his potential at all costs, condensing a large number of stars filled with innate Tao patterns. He tore apart the Universe Sword Formation, crushed the Black God Ant and Xia Wendy's attacks, and appeared in front of Yi Qinfeng. Die! Sha Tianya, whose eyes were bloodshot, let out a roar and launched a sure-kill attack at Yi Qinfeng. At this moment, the soul power in Yi Qinfeng's mind exploded, forming a dizziness force that blasted into his soul sea. His soul trembled, and his attack speed was slightly affected. Sha Tianya's attack was slow, but Yi Qinfeng didn't dodge. If he dodged, Sha Tianya would have a chance to escape. Yi Qinfeng didn't care about the cost. While the Universe Sword Formation defended, the Black God Ant, Xia Wendy, and Qingu Qiu appeared and attacked Sha Tianya together. Even Pu Jun and Rintu appeared at this moment, unleashing their most powerful attacks to kill their way over. Boom, boom, boom! Earth-shattering explosions reverberated through the 9 heavens. Yi Qinfeng, who received Sha Tianya's attack head-on, was sent flying. If he wasn't strong enough, this collision would have destroyed him. Xia Wendy and the others were also injured at the same time, and their defensive formation was broken. Boom, boom, boom! Suddenly, an earth-shattering explosion reverberated in the void. The intense battle between the Xingluo sky wall and the 9 heavenly layers had finally concluded. The 9 heavenly layers were shattered by the Xingluo sky wall, turning into Tao pattern fragments that rained down from the sky. With the 9 heavenly layers shattered, the Star Emperor's clone immediately controlled the Xingluo sky wall to come crashing down. With the power to destroy everything, it blasted towards Sha Tianya, whose expression changed drastically. Sensing the danger, Sha Tianya instinctively wanted to dodge, but the Black God Ant's reaction was faster. It stretched out its strong arms and hugged Sha Tianya, preventing him from dodging. Boom! The Xingluo sky wall came crashing down, and the terrifying power shattered Sha Tianya's arms that were raised up high. His 2 legs were also pressed into the ground by this terrifying power. At the brink of death, Sha Tianya, whose white hair was fluttering, burned his blood essence and borrowed the power of the Heaven City to break open the Xingluo sky wall. Suddenly, a blinding sword light flashed in front of his eyes. His pupils contracted as he saw Yi Qinfeng thrusting over with the Emperor Heaven's sword. For this sword, Yi Qinfeng had raised his attack power to the peak and even activated the sword soul. The power of the Emperor Heaven's sword's sword soul could be said to be shocking and unparalleled. Sha Tianya's defense was broken, and the Emperor Heaven's sword pierced into his forehead like a hot knife through butter. Large amounts of cracks appeared in his head. Sha Tianya, go repent in hell! Yi Chunfeng roared, and his surging power and Tao intent burst out. Boundless power surged out from the Emperor Heaven's sword and pierced through the Heaven Suppression Pearl's defense, causing Sha Tianya's head and soul to explode, ending his sinful life. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 989. Dead, Sha Tianya was dead. Witnessing Sha Tianya's head being pierced by Yi Chunfeng's sword and dying on the spot shocked everyone present. Watermark advertisement test especially the experts of Xingluo Heaven City. They were so scared that their bodies trembled. They looked at the tyrannical Yi Chunfeng in fear that he would take revenge. Heaven's suppressing orb, keep. After killing Sha Tianya in one strike, Yi Chunfeng immediately took away Xingluo Heaven City's treasures, the 3 heaven-suppressing orbs, the Gu Dao treasure, Gu Fanxing, and Xingluo's doppelganger. Taking away the heaven-suppressing orbs meant that Yi Chunfeng had become the master of Xingluo Heaven City. By borrowing the power of the 3 heaven-suppressing orbs, he could directly borrow the power of Xingluo Heaven City to surpass the limits of a combat beast emperor. Luo Shun, the experts of the heaven race will definitely take revenge for me. Suddenly, a painful roar reverberated through the 9 heavens like a surging wave that resounded through the horizon. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng and the others saw the space in the distance tremble violently. 6 deadly dragons flew through the air, causing the space to collapse. Following that, the old woman's roar disappeared, and the chaotic space gradually returned to normal. Phew, the almighty expert of the heaven race is finally dead. Yi Chunfeng let out a long breath and revealed a smile. If the old woman did not die, she would definitely become a poisonous thorn in the Xingluo continent. Yi Chunfeng would not be able to eat or sleep in peace, and he would not be able to leave in peace. Many thanks to Senior for helping, Yi Chunfeng will never forget it. Yi Chunfeng saw Luo Shun flying over and immediately went forward to express his gratitude. Junior, do you know why I took such a huge risk to help you kill the almighty expert of the heaven race? Luo Shun returned the 9-dragon jade annulus to Yi Chunfeng and called him to the side. She looked deeply at him and asked. Senior saw hope in me, Yi Chunfeng said in a neither arrogant nor humble manner. Yes, I do see hope in you to rebuild the legacy of our human race, which is why I took the risk to help you. However, although the Xingluo continent's celestial race inheritance has been destroyed, the celestial race's true inheritance is not here, so you still have a long way to go to rebuild the human race's inheritance. The slightest mistake could lead to eternal damnation. Luo Shun nodded and said, Junior understands, but no matter how great the difficulties and obstacles are, Junior will not give up. Yi Chunfeng slowly said, his voice filled with an incomparably strong conviction. All right, Junior, the matter here is done. I'm leaving. Let's meet again if fate wills it. I hope you won't disappoint me. After speaking, Luo Shunluo stepped out in the air. Her figure turned blurry and vanished before Yi Chunfeng's eyes. Now that Sha Tianya is dead, do you still want to continue resisting? After Luo Shunluo left, Yi Chunfeng stepped on the air and arrived in front of the Xingluo Heaven City experts. His sharp eyes looked at them and questioned them without allowing them to resist. Looking into Yi Chunfeng's eyes that were sharper than a blade and feeling the aura he emitted, the Xingluo Heaven City experts were terrified. No one dared to contradict him in public, and no one dared to resist. Qingfeng, now that Sha Tianya and Sha Bingyun are dead, you will be the new master of Xingluo Heaven City. I believe that in your hands, Xingluo Heaven City will be even more glorious. Kong Sungchen intentionally said. Yi Chunfeng did not decline and nodded. I don't know if any of you have any objections. Greetings to the city lord under the leadership of the Xingluo Heaven City Great Protector Sha Zhe. One by one the Xingluo Heaven City experts lowered their noble heads and came forward to greet Yi Chunfeng. As for the eastern region Lord Luoho, he was so scared that his body trembled. He was afraid that Yi Chunfeng would take revenge on him. Luoho. Just as Luoho was nervous and thinking about whether to escape from Xingluo Heaven City, a thunderous voice sounded in his ears. He was so scared that 2 of his 3 souls left his body. Large amounts of sweat appeared on his forehead. City Lord, I am here. Suppressing the fear in his heart, Luoho stood up in the crowd and braced himself. Luoho, I will leave the cleaning up to you. If you do a good job, you will still be the Eastern Region Lord. But if you do not handle it well, you can bring your head to me. Although Yi Chunfeng and Luoho had a grudge, he knew that Luoho was capable and left the cleaning up to him. Don't worry, City Lord, I am good at this. I will definitely satisfy you. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, Luoho was overjoyed. He patted his chest and promised, Everyone, let us go to the Xingluo Great Hall. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng led the group to the majestic Star Luo Palace. The walls of the palace were inlaid with jades that looked like the stars in the sky. Chingfeng, congratulations on becoming the new city lord of Xingluo Heaven City. We can rest assured that Xingluo Heaven City will be in your hand. Bai Feng smiled and congratulated. They believed that under Yi Chunfeng's leadership, Xingluo Heaven City would definitely walk towards glory. The Xingluo continent would also truly stabilize. After eliminating Sha Tianya, the True Demon Clan, and the Sun Luo Hall, the Xingluo continent should be stable for a short period of time. I hope that the other celestial race inheritances will not retaliate against us. Yi Chunfeng sat on the main seat of the Great Hall and slowly said, Qingfeng, are there any other celestial race inheritances in this world? By family head Bai Qingtian asked. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, The celestial race's biggest inheritance is the 9 Heavens God Kingdom. The 9 Heavens God Kingdom was one of the 3 great God Kingdoms in the Central World. Bai Qingtian and the others all gasped. Although Xingluo Heaven City was the overlord of the Xingluo continent, its overall power was still far from the 9 Heavens God Kingdom. If the 9 Heavens God Kingdom wanted to retaliate, they would not be able to stop them. Everyone, don't be too nervous. The 3 great God Kingdoms have a very delicate relationship. The 9 Heavens God Kingdom probably won't retaliate against us, and I plan to go to the Central World soon to take a look. Yi Chunfeng said. Central World. Xia Wendy raised her eyebrows and looked at Yi Chunfeng thoughtfully, but didn't say anything. Xingluo Heaven City changed, and the news of Yi Chunfeng becoming the new master of Xingluo Heaven City spread like a hurricane across the entire Xingluo continent. Many restaurants and teahouses were spreading his amazing deeds and methods, making him even more miraculous. When Yi Chunfeng's fame reached its peak in the Xingluo continent, he refined the 3 heaven suppression orbs. Xingluo's avatar, Gu Fanxing, took away part of the collection of the Xingluo Heaven City and handed it over to Chang Guqiu to manage. Wendy, I plan to leave the Xingluo continent with Senior Jiang tomorrow and return to the Eastern continent. If there is a chance, we will meet at the Central World. Before leaving, Yi Chunfeng found Xia Wendy and said, How do you know I want to go to the Central World? Xia Wendy blinked her big eyes and asked in surprise. You and I are the same kind of people, and we will not be limited to this world. If we want to ascend to the heaven realm, we have to go to the Central World. Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. I didn't think you would know me that well. Xia Wendy showed 2 cute little dimples and said, Then we will meet at the Central World. After saying goodbye to Xia Wendy, Yi Chunfeng settled down in the Xingluo Heaven City. Then, accompanied by Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and Xing Biue, he left the Xingluo continent. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 990. Seagulls, Blue Sky, and Boundless Sea. Watermark advertisement. Test. Watermark advertisement. Test. The three ships were like giant blades, cutting through the waves and tearing apart the blue sea. Finally, a boundless continent was faintly discernible in the thick sea fog. Northern Spiritual Region, I'm finally back. Nikhang, how are you? Yi Chunfeng stood on the deck of the ship and looked at the continent in the distance. The image of Yu Nichang's beautiful face unconsciously appeared in his mind. After leaving Xingluo continent, Yi Chunfeng was accompanied by Kong Sungchen and the other two level 6 beast emperors. They met up with the Misty Mountain and the Fu family who were guarding Slaughter City, 3-Star Island, and took the ship back to the Duhun continent. In the few months after returning to the Northern Spiritual Region, Yi Chunfeng had refined 3 great Dao pills that were over 200,000 years old that he had obtained from the Imperial Mausoleum of Xingluo. Ling Yu and Fu Qingshan had both broken through to level 3 beast emperors. When Ling Yu had broken through, he had attracted the terrifying 1,000 lightning tribulation. After passing through the 1,000 lightning tribulation, Ling Yu's strength had increased by more than 10 times. His strength had reached 70 million jin, which was enough to defeat an ordinary level 5 beast emperor. Boss, you can't wait to go to the Yu family and make them submit to you, beg you to forgive their ignorance, then marry Miss Yu in the Yu family and live happily ever after with her, right? The Chaos Divine Beast laid lazily on the deck and looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was slightly excited, and said with a big mouth, "If the Yu family doesn't know what's good for them and does something to harm Nikhang, I don't mind making them disappear from the eastern continent." Although the Yu family was an 8th rank Holy Land, their overall strength was far inferior to Xingluo Sky City. Even compared to Jiang Bai's Jasper Palace, there was still a big gap. With Yi Chunfeng's current strength, it was enough to eliminate the Yu family. Boss, you're getting more and more domineering. I like the Chaos Divine Beast howled. The 3 ships moved faster and faster. Soon, the 3 ships sailed into a busy harbor in the northern continent with a large number of fishing boats avoiding them. Sister Wandering, have you really decided to return to the old site of Misty Mountain and rebuild there? Yi Chunfeng asked softly as the group of people got off the ship. He came to the side of the tall and slender Xuepiaoling, who was dressed in a dark green silk dress. Yes, I've discussed it with Master and the others. Misty Mountain is our route, we can't give it up. Xuepiaoling nodded and said, although the ethereal wonderland was destroyed, it came from the heaven realm after all. It would not be completely destroyed. So we decided to rebuild the ethereal mountain on the old site. Alright, since you have decided, we will go to the old site of the Misty Mountain first. After helping you rebuild it, I will go to the eastern continent, Yi Chunfeng said. Thank you, Xuepiaoling said gratefully. She was very touched that Yi Chunfeng was willing to waste time for them. As the group flew toward the old site of Misty Mountain, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul suddenly sensed a dozen flying spiritual beasts flying toward them from behind a towering mountain in the distance. We can't go on. Our cyan-winged birds are on the verge of death. If we fly for another hour, they will explode and die. A young man with a pale face covered in blood, who was a level 3 defiant beast king, looked at the dozen men in black behind him, and said tiredly and anxiously, Senior Brother Fenghen, what should we do? I don't want to die yet. A young girl in a white dress with a bleeding arm said in despair. Large amounts of tears welled up in her eyes. She was about to cry. Let's fight with them. Even if I die, I will take one of them with me. A big man with a full beard gritted his teeth and said. He looked like he was going to fight with his life on the line. That's right. Even if we die, we can't embarrass the Sky Cloud sect. There are no cowards in the Sky Cloud sect. Lu Yunhen nodded and said, Everyone, calm down and heal quickly. When they catch up, we will fight them to the death. As soon as Lu Yunhen finished speaking, Many martial artists' faces showed despair and helplessness. Two pretty girls were so scared that they trembled and shed tears. There were people. Why were there so many people in front of them? When the sky cloud sex people rode their dying cyan-winged birds and flew over the towering and majestic mountain peak, they were shocked. They saw a dense crowd of people appear in front of them, directly sealing off the void, blocking their path. Just as they were in a panic and hesitating whether to take the risk, they saw Yi Chunfeng, Shui Piaoling, and the others' familiar faces. Their eyes widened in shock and disbelief. Yes, it's the people from Misty Mountain. They are back. We are saved. Lu Yunhen and the others didn't expect that they would meet people from Misty Mountain at this moment of life and death. They activated their cyan-winged bird's potential and quickly flew over. Retreat. The 10 men in black who were chasing after them were shocked when they saw the dense crowd of people in front of them. They immediately gave up the idea of chasing and wanted to retreat quickly. Chaos, stop them. Don't let them get away. Yi Chunfeng's eyes flashed coldly. He looked at the 10 men in black who were running away and ordered. Leave it to me, boss. The divine beast of chaos roared. Its huge body sped up. With a terrifying demonic power, it intercepted the 12 men in black. Die. Blocked by the chaos divine beast, the 10 men in black all took out their weapons and attacked the chaos divine beast with all their strength, trying to force it to retreat. After merging with the white tiger's skeleton, the chaos divine beast became extremely terrifying. The 10 men in black's attacks couldn't hurt it at all. Howl! With a roar that pierced through clouds and cracked rocks, the chaos divine beast's roar knocked out the 10 men in black and several huge flying spiritual beasts. They blacked out and fell from the sky, unconscious on the ground. Thank you, Sect Master Shui. Thank you for saving my life. Seeing the chaos divine beast knock out the 10 men in black with one roar, Lu Yunhen was shocked and also very happy. He let out a long sigh and said gratefully, Yunhen, what happened? Who is chasing after you? How is your flowing cloud sect? Shui Piamiao looked at the heavily injured flowing cloud sect's eldest disciple, Lu Yunhen, and asked, Sai, Sect Master Shui, in these years when you disappeared, the northern spirit region has been attacked by the flames of war. Not only was my flowing cloud sect destroyed by those bastards of the western continent, but the Sword Valley also suffered heavy casualties. Now that the northern spirit region is controlled by the western demon sect, we can only be displaced and hide. Lu Yunhen sighed softly and told her about the situation of the northern spirit region. The northern spirit region was controlled by the western demon sect. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and said, Is Mo Fengyun also in the northern spirit region? Yes, I heard that Mo Fengyun is cultivating at the old site of Misty Mountain. Now, his strength has become even more terrifying. Lu Yunhen said, This Mo Fengyun must have found a great opportunity at the old site of Misty Immortal Realm. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stayed here for so long. Yi Chunfeng slightly raised the corner of his mouth and said, Let's go to Misty Mountain and meet our old friends. After speaking, Yi Chunfeng waved his hand and killed the 10 men in black whose hands were stained with the blood of the northern spirit region martial artists. Then, he led everyone to Misty Mountain. I'm finally back, please give me a red packet. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 991. The Misty Mountain was finally back. After several days of traveling, Yi Chunfeng and his group flew back to the old site of the Misty Mountain. Looking at the endless and undulating Misty Mountain and the spiritual energy of heaven and earth surrounding the peaks, Yi Chunfeng said lightly, I didn't expect Mo Fengyun to help us rebuild the Misty Mountain and restore the vitality here. This saved us a lot of trouble. Let's go into the mountain. With that, Yi Chen-feng and his group flew into the lush and ancient Misty Mountain. How dare you! This was the West Devil Sect. Outsiders would be killed without mercy. Just as Yi Chen-feng was about to tear the restriction on the Misty Mountain, an angry roar sounded. More than 10 disciples of the West Devil Sect walked out of the restriction on the mountain. However, when they saw hundreds of Misty Mountain disciples, they were obviously shocked. From today onwards, there was no West Devil Sect in the Northern Spirit region, Yi Chen-feng said domineeringly. He waved his arm lightly, and a large number of sword Dao patterns fell down like mercury, killing more than 10 West Devil Sect disciples. Then, Yi Chen-feng reached out with his hand, and the will of the 5 elements gushed out of his body and transformed into a giant hand of the 5 elements. It slammed down fiercely, and the terrifying power of the will of the 5 elements directly tore apart the restriction hidden in the mountain. After tearing apart the outer restriction, Yi Chen-feng and his group immediately flew into the Misty Mountain. When they broke through several restrictions and arrived at the peak of the Misty Mountain, they found that the peak was shrouded in a terrifying array. Faintly discernible formation runes flickered in the void, sealing off the entire void. Well, they didn't expect Mo Fengyun to set up such a powerful array. Feeling the power of the forbidden space array before them, Yi Chen-feng's eyes shot out beams of light. The power of the God-Eater brain radiated out completely, deducing the power of the forbidden space array before them. Whoosh! An ear-piercing sound broke through the air. Yi Chen-feng's eyes locked on one point. He quickly drew out his sword. A sword light of several feet long shot out and pierced forward. Crack! The terrifying forbidden space array was attacked by Yi Chen-feng's sword. It shattered like glass, and a large number of cracks spread out at a speed visible to the naked eye. The devil concentrates. The moment the forbidden space array shattered, Yi Chen-feng saw Mo Qianxin, who was controlling the array core. Mo Qianxin was Mo Fengyun's clone. His existence was enough to prove that Mo Fengyun was in Misty Mountain. Where are you going? Mo Qianxin immediately tried to flee, but Yi Chen-feng was even faster. Using his absolute power, he pierced through the broken restriction and chased after Mo Qianxin. Stop! If you come any closer, we'll kill them. Just as Yi Chen-feng was about to catch up to Mo Qianxin, more than 10 Western Devil Sect experts appeared, holding more than 10 skinny martial artists hostage. These martial artists were all Misty Mountain disciples who had not left with Shui Piaoling back then. Don't hurt them. If you dare to hurt them, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Shui Piaoling and the others who were following closely behind Yi Chen-feng slightly changed their expressions. They glared at the West Devil Sect's experts and warned loudly. I can let them go, but you have to leave Misty Mountain. Otherwise, we will kill them immediately. Mo Qianxin coldly threatened Yi Chen-feng as he looked coldly at him. You think you can threaten me? Yi Chen-feng sneered. Soul force erupted from his mind, forming a terrifying dizzying force. Like a heavy hammer, it smashed into the soul seas of the Western Devil Sect's experts who were holding Shui Piaoling's disciples hostage. Bang! 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 After being hit by Yi Chen-feng's dizzying attack, the soul seas of the Western Devil Sect's experts immediately exploded. A large amount of blood spurted out from their exploded heads. They fell into a pool of blood and died. Seeing Yi Chen-feng kill more than 10 Western Devil Sect's experts without batting an eyelid, Mo Qianxin's eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. Just as he regained his senses and turned to flee, a faint light flashed before his eyes. Yi Chen-feng appeared in front of him at a speed that was beyond his imagination and landed a punch on his body, sending him flying. Qingfeng, watch out! The instant Yi Chen-feng sent Mo Qianxin flying, a blood shadow suddenly appeared. With a speed faster than light, it emitted a piercing sound wave as it attacked Yi Chen-feng. Demonic ghost chains. Despite the scarlet blood heavenly bat's close attack, Yi Chen-feng did not panic. Ignoring the piercing sound wave, 5 black demonic ghost chains shot out from Yi Qianfeng's body like 5 black dragons, coiling around the scarlet blood heavenly bat. After breaking through to the 4th grade combat beast emperor realm, Yi Qianfeng's strength had reached a terrifying level. The demonic ghost chains that he condensed were even more powerful, directly sealing off the scarlet blood heavenly bat's escape route, binding it and preventing it from moving. So powerful! Qing Feng has actually become so powerful. Seeing Yi Qianfeng easily bind the scarlet blood heavenly bat, Xue Piaoling and the rest sucked in a breath of cold air. They had never imagined that in just 3 years, Yi Qianfeng would grow to such a level, to be able to easily suppress a 8th grade heavenly beast. Mo Qinxin, tell me where Mo Fengyun is. If you cooperate, I can spare your life. Yi Qianfeng looked at Mo Qinxin, who was lying on the ground with his chest deformed, and asked without allowing any resistance. Yi Qianfeng originally wanted to release his soul spirit to find Mo Fengyun. However, when his soul spirit covered the entire Misty Peak, he could not find Mo Fengyun. He had no choice but to interrogate Mo Qinxin. Faced with Yi Qianfeng's interrogation, Mo Qinxin ignored it and closed his eyes, pretending to be dead. Do you think that by pretending to be dead, I can't do anything to you? Yi Qianfeng sneered and appeared beside Mo Qinxin. He condensed the demonic ghost chains to bind Mo Qinxin's body and borrowed the power of the God-Eater brain to search his soul. At this moment, in an independent space deep in the ruins of the ethereal immortal realm, Mo Fengyun, who was wearing a black robe and soaking in a pool, suddenly opened his eyes and frowned. He was trying to break through to the level 5 beast emperor realm. Yi Qianfeng, you are indeed my fated enemy. In just 3 years you have grown to such a level. After witnessing Yi Qianfeng's astonishing strength through Mo Qinxin, Mo Fengyun revealed a dignified and surprised expression. Although he had found a lot of opportunities in the misty immortal realm ruins and his strength had increased, he was only a step away from breaking through to the 5th grade beast emperor. He also had a huge trump card. However, Yi Qianfeng had too many helpers. He had no choice but to avoid him. Yi Qianfeng, sooner or later, I will kill you and send you to hell with my own hand. Mo Fengyun swore in his heart. Feeling the threat from Yi Qianfeng, Mo Fengyun had no choice but to give up the idea of breaking through to the 5th grade beast emperor and leave quickly. However, when he stealthily opened the space restriction and left through the escape route he had dug earlier, 2 extremely sharp sword rays cut through the space. One sword sealed off his escape route, while the other slashed at him, forcing him to dodge quickly. In the next moment, a huge hand of Tao fell from the sky with unparalleled destructive power. It broke through the thick layers and restricted space and grabbed at Mo Fengyun, forcing him out of the misty immortal realm. Mo Fengyun, we meet again. Where are you going? Yi Qianfeng put his hands behind his back and looked at Mo Fengyun, who had a dignified and gloomy expression, and said with a faint smile, Yi Qianfeng, I didn't expect you would dare to come back. Mo Fengyun frowned and said in a low voice, Why wouldn't I dare to come back? Yi Qianfeng sneered and said overbearingly, This time, I will see who can stop me. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 992. Fine, fine, fine. Let me see how strong you are now. Mo Fengyun's spiritual beast, the golden eyes fiendish python, emerged from his body and hovered above his head. It spat out its long forked tongue and glared at Yi Qianfeng. Watermark advertisement test. I didn't expect your spiritual beast to mutate and turn into a flood dragon. Yi Qianfeng didn't look surprised when he saw the horn on the forehead of Mo Fengyun's spiritual beast, the golden eyes fiendish python. No matter how strong Mo Fengyun was, he couldn't threaten him. Sky Fiend Dao Soldier Mo Fengyun quickly merged with the Golden Eyes Fiendish Python and slashed at Yi Chunfeng with the Sky Fiend Dao Soldier. He wanted to capture him and take him away. The low-grade Dao weapon seemed a little shabby now. In the past, the low-grade Dao weapon could be considered the #1 treasure in the Western continent. But now, Yi Chunfeng had robbed Xingluo Sky City and Sen Luo Hall. He had more than 10 mid-grade Dao weapons, and even more low-grade Dao weapons. Courting death. When Mo Fengyun saw that Yi Chunfeng blocked the attack of the Sky Fiend Dao Soldier with his bare hand, his eyes were filled with murderous intent. 40 saber Dao patterns merged with the Sky Fiend Dao Soldier and increased its power. He wanted to slash Yi Chunfeng's hand off, but Yi Chunfeng's hand was comparable to a mid-grade Dao weapon. The Sky Fiend Dao Soldier slashed at it with irresistible force, but it couldn't hurt his hand. Mo Fengyun felt as if his saber had slashed at the hardest black iron. A strong force passed through the Sky Fiend Dao Soldier and into his arm. It cracked the web between his thumb and index finger, and there was a trace of numbness in his arm. What? How is this possible? Mo Fengyun's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng's physical body was so strong that his saber attack couldn't hurt him at all. Nothing is impossible. Today, I will let you know how big the gap between our strength is. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng stretched out his hand. The Dao will of the 5 elements gushed out and turned into a huge, colorful hand that covered the sky. With an unparalleled sense of oppression, it suppressed Mo Fengyun. 8 heavens of the 5 elements Dao intent. After witnessing over 85 elemental Dao patterns gushing out from Yi Chunfeng's body, Mo Fengyun's heart was in turmoil. He couldn't believe that in just a few years, Yi Chunfeng had grown to such an extent. He frantically dodged with all his might. In his heart there was even a trace of regret. He regretted that he didn't go all out to kill Yi Chunfeng back then. But now, he had no way out. If he couldn't defeat Yi Chunfeng, only death would await him. Boom! The palm of 5 elements smashed down, directly distorting the void. Waves of powerful space power surged in all directions and heavily bombarded Mo Fengyun, who could not dodge in time. The impact caused his qi and blood to churn, and a stream of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Mo Fengyun, when we meet again, you have truly disappointed me. If your strength is only at this level, you don't even have the qualifications to submit to me. The 6th Soul Devourer brain was left for him. But if Mo Fengyun's strength and potential could not satisfy Yi Chunfeng, then Yi Chunfeng would not waste such a precious Soul Devourer brain on him. Demon Heart, Bloodline Ignition, Beast Soul Form. Mo Fengyun wiped the blood flowing out from the corner of his mouth and quickly ignited his Demon Heart and Bloodline power. He transformed into his strongest Beast Soul form and fought with all his might. Yi Chunfeng, I want you dead. Mo Fengyun, who was filled with demonic aura, roared. He raised the Dao intent he had comprehended to the extreme and raised his attack power to the greatest extent. He slashed at Yi Chunfeng. The power of this slash is passable, but it is still far from enough to hurt me. Yi Chunfeng stood in silence, allowing Mo Fengyun to slash at him. Just as Mo Fengyun's slash was about to hit Yi Chunfeng's head, a layer of golden defensive light enveloped Yi Chunfeng's body, further increasing his attack power. Chi. The sound of cloth being torn was heard. Mo Fengyun had used all his strength to tear apart the golden body technique. But when the Sky Demon Dao weapon, whose power had been reduced to the extreme, slashed at Yi Chunfeng's head, it could not hurt him at all. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's shocking strength, Mo Fengyun was terrified. He instinctively wanted to retreat. But the moment he retreated, Yi Chunfeng took a step forward. A strange sword diagram appeared under his feet. A large number of sword Dao patterns shot out and attacked Mo Fengyun like a rain of swords. They broke through his defense like a hot knife through butter and sent him flying. When Mo Fengyun was injured by Yi Chunfeng's sword steps, he suddenly locked his eyes on the beautiful and elegant Bai Xiao, who was wearing a snow-white dress. He wanted to use her to threaten Yi Chunfeng and fight for a chance to survive. Suddenly, Xing Biue, who was wearing a phoenix robe, stood in front of him. The power that erupted from her body made Mo Fengyun feel as if his liver and guts were being torn apart. Sixth-grade battle beast Emperor Mo Fengyun's heart trembled. He did not dare to get close to Xing Biue and quickly turned back. But at this moment, Yi Chunfeng suddenly approached him and clamped his right hand on his shoulder like a clamp. Then, with a force of tens of millions of pounds, Yi Chunfeng threw Mo Fengyun, who had lost control of his body, to the ground. He smashed a huge hole in the ground, and a large amount of blood gushed out from his body. Immortal state energy. Fusion Mo Fengyun's body was severely injured again and again. He used his last trump card. He borrowed the power of the demon heart and forcibly fused the immortal state energy from the ethereal immortal realm into his body. He suppressed his injuries and stimulated his body's potential to increase his strength. Sky Demon Slash of 10 directions. After using the immortal state energy to increase his cultivation level, Mo Fengyun ignored his injuries and slashed out the cross-blade slash. It split the void and slashed towards Yi Chunfeng. Boom! Yi Chunfeng quickly punched out. The terrifying fist smashed the Sky Demon Slash of 10 directions and appeared in front of Mo Fengyun under his horrified gaze. Heavenly demons dance in all directions as Yi Chunfeng closed in. Mo Fengyun unleashed his ultimate move. 8 Sky Devil Saber Lights slashed down, carrying with them the power to destroy everything, aiming for Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng's pupils constricted as the 8 heavenly demonic saber auras slashed down. He quickly struck out with his palm. The terrifying will of the Wei turned into a ferocious illusory dragon that tore through the heavenly demonic saber auras. It landed heavily on Mo Fengyun's body, severely injuring him and sending him flying. Mo Fengyun smelled the threat of death after suffering so many injuries. However, he did not accept his fate. He quickly took out a pitch-black heaven fruit the size of a longan fruit and swallowed it. He had found this heaven fruit in the ruins of the misty, immortal realm. Because the spirit energy it contained was too strong, he had never dared to consume it. But now, he had no choice but to go all out. In the next moment, his body swelled up. Large amounts of blood and energy flowed out of his pores. The immense pain made his entire face contort. As Mo Fengyun's strength increased, Yi Chunfeng closed in again. He unleashed 25 million pounds of strength and the will of the Wei of the 5 elements to attack Mo Fengyun with all his might. He completely suppressed Mo Fengyun's attack, ravaged his body, and sent his swollen body flying again and again. Mo Fengyun's body was ravaged, but his body's potential was stimulated bit by bit under Yi Chunfeng's tide-like attacks. Suddenly, a thunderous roar resounded across the sky. The dazzling sun was covered by rapidly gathering dark clouds. Under Yi Chunfeng's ferocious attacks, Mo Fengyun was on the verge of death. His potential was completely stimulated. After absorbing a large amount of the heaven fruit's energy, Mo Fengyun attracted heaven's punishment. Mobile reading site, book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 993. Mo Fengyun, if you can pass the divine punishment and sublimate your Tao, I will give you a chance to live and let you submit to me. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Seeing that Mo Fengyun had attracted the divine punishment, Yi Chunfeng revealed a meaningful smile. He stopped attacking him and quickly retreated to the side. When Yi Chunfeng retreated, the heavily injured Mo Fengyun did not dare to stay any longer. He wanted to take this opportunity to escape. However, when he tried his best to break out of the encirclement, an illusory figure stood in front of him, blocking his path. Yi Chunfeng, do you want to perish together with me? Feeling that the divine punishment was about to descend, Mo Fengyun, who was under great pressure and smelled the scent of death, roared at Yi Chunfeng. "Mo Fengyun, don't be nervous." Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, "I said, if you can pass the divine punishment, I will give you a chance to submit to me. But if you fail, you will be struck to death by the divine punishment. You can't blame anyone. You." Looking at Yi Chunfeng's calm appearance, Mo Fengyun felt uneasy. However, Yi Chunfeng was too strong. He could not break out of the encirclement with his strength. Helpless, Mo Fengyun could only suppress the impulse and uneasiness in his heart. He quickly sat cross-legged on the ground, adjusted his breathing and waited for the divine punishment to descend. If he could pass the divine punishment and break through to the 5th level, Mo Fengyun felt that he might have a chance to live. At the moment of life and death, he could only stake everything on a single throw, competing with the heavens, gambling with the heavens. The divine punishment was about to descend. Everyone quickly retreated to the outside of the tribulation area. Feeling that the divine punishment attracted by Mo Fengyun was not ordinary, Kong Sungchen and the others quickly led the people of the Misty Mountain to the outside of the tribulation area in case they were attacked by the divine punishment. What kind of divine punishment would Mo Fengyun attract when he broke through to the 5th level? Yi Chunfeng looked at the rolling tribulation clouds in the sky that were getting thicker and thicker. He showed a trace of expectation. "I hope it won't disappoint me." The reason why Yi Chunfeng showed mercy was that he wanted to subdue Mo Fengyun. If he could subdue him, Yi Chunfeng could do a lot of things with his identity. Rumble-deafening roars of thunder rang out from the black tribulation cloud that was tens of zhang high. The frightening sound caused many of the weaker Misty Mountain disciples to instinctively feel fear. Their legs could not help but tremble. It was as if the heavenly punishment was descending, and they would be crushed by the heavenly punishment, leaving not even their bones behind. As the thunder in the tribulation clouds became more and more frequent, a doomsday appeared in the thick tribulation clouds, reflecting a black light that illuminated the entire space. The strange scene was as if the end of the world had arrived. Armageddon heavenly punishment, this Mo Fengyun really didn't disappoint me. If he could survive the Armageddon heavenly punishment, his strength and Tao intent would grow a lot, and he would become an important chess piece for me. Yi Chunfeng was well aware of the power of the sun extinguishing heavenly punishment. He revealed a faint smile as his body flickered and appeared beside Mo Qianxin, who was still bound by the sky demon. He untied him and threw him towards Mo Fengyun. Seeing Yi Chunfeng toss Mo Qianxin over, Mo Fengyun frowned. However, he didn't waste Yi Chunfeng's good intentions. He quickly fused with Mo Qianxin, further increasing his strength. Boom, boom, boom. Just as Mo Fengyun was refining the ancient heavenly fruit that he suspected came from the heavenly domain to heal his injuries, nearly 1,000 bolts of lightning shot down like the Milky Way, bombarding Mo Fengyun and Yi Chunfeng, who was in the tribulation area. Sensing the terror of the heavenly punishment, many Misty Mountain disciples who weren't mentally strong fell to the ground in fright. Their faces were ashen as their bodies trembled. Yi Chunfeng didn't react to the extremely destructive bolts of lightning as he stood in the air. He allowed the bolts of lightning to strike his body, using the power of lightning to temper his physical body. Yi Chunfeng easily endured the heavenly punishment, but Mo Fengyun wasn't as calm as him. He held the sky demon Tao weapon and attacked with all his might, shaking the heavenly punishment. The heavenly fruit that Mo Fengyun had consumed contained an extremely large amount of energy. Under the heavenly punishment, the energy of the heavenly fruit constantly fused into Mo Fengyun's body, replenishing his body's energy and supporting him to go through the tribulation. Although Yi Chunfeng was engulfed by 1,000 bolts of lightning, they couldn't break through his physical body's defense, let alone injure him. Under the tempering of the lightning bolts, he tried to fuse the heavenly punishment's power into his Shinjua acupoint, slowly increasing the strength of his physical body. Senior Jiang, will Qingfeng be alright? Although Yi Chunfeng was strong, Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia couldn't help but feel nervous after witnessing him being engulfed by several hundred bolts of lightning. Don't worry, Chengfeng's strength far surpasses us three old fellows. This level of heavenly punishment won't be a threat to him. Looking at the two beautiful faces, Kong Sungchen said with a faint smile. He wasn't worried about Yi Chengfeng's safety at all. More and more lightning bolts broke through the tribulation clouds. Yi Chengfeng and Mo Fengyun endured nearly 2 hours of baptism before the first level of heavenly punishment disappeared. Just as the first level of heavenly punishment, which was covered in blood and had charred skin, dissipated, the most terrifying sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment descended. When it landed in midair, the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment split into two and tore through the void, attacking Yi Chengfeng and Mo Fengyun respectively. 5 Tao Intents. Heaven and Earth Tao Intent, Life and Death Tao Intent, Confinement. When the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment struck down like falling stars, the three great fused Tao wills gushed out of Yi Chengfeng's body and transformed into a huge hand that covered the sky. It grabbed the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment and held it in its palm, imprisoning it. In the next moment, Yi Chengfeng deduced the 3 Tao Intents to the extreme and used the power of the Tao Intents to condense the doomsday heavenly punishment. The terrifying Tao Intents fluctuated, twisting and tearing the void, forming a destructive storm. After more than an hour, under the refinement of the 3 fused Tao Intents deduced by Yi Chengfeng, the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment was condensed to the size of a fist. Then, Yi Chengfeng opened his mouth and swallowed the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, which was enough to destroy a level 5 combat beast emperor. Ignoring the intense pain in his body, he controlled the chaos divine wood to suppress the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. He activated the divine change of 9 transformations and refined the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment into the Shen Ke meridian at his navel, transforming it into a spiritual pearl. The scene of him swallowing the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment also shocked the people of Misty Mountain. Even Kong Sungchen and the other two revealed a look of surprise and admiration. They knew that they couldn't do something like swallowing the doomsday heavenly punishment directly. The power of the heavenly punishment could destroy their bodies. Yi Chengfeng directly swallowed the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, but Mo Fengyun wasn't as calm as him. His body was destroyed beyond recognition by the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. White bones were exposed in many places, and his internal organs were severely damaged. He gave it his all, burning his demonic heart to the extreme, deducing Tao Intents, and racking his brains, but he still couldn't withstand the destruction of the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. If it wasn't for the heavenly fruits that continuously healed his severely injured body and replenished his energy, he would have been killed by the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. Damn it, is the difference in strength between him and me really that big? Seeing Yi Chengfeng swallowing the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, Mo Fengyun's heart turned cold. He had a feeling that even if he survived the heavenly punishment and broke through to the level 5 combat beast emperor realm, he wouldn't be able to escape. He had already lost control of his life. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 994. Rumble. While Mo Fengyun was distracted by Yi Chengfeng refining the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, the power of the heavenly punishment shattered his deduced Tao intent and bombarded his body, almost destroying him. Mo Fengyun opened his mouth. Seeing that the severely injured Mo Fengyun couldn't withstand the baptism of the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment and was about to die, a resonant voice rang in his ears, shaking his soul. Instinctively opening his mouth, Yi Chengfeng flicked his finger, and a great Tao pill that contained a powerful Tao will flew into his mouth. It transformed into a majestic medicinal power that merged into his body, healing his injuries and accelerating the transformation of his cultivation base. Great Tao Pill Mo Fengyun was moved. He didn't expect that Yi Chunfeng would give him such a valuable Great Tao Pill at such a crucial moment. Although he knew that Yi Chunfeng had a motive for saving his life at such a crucial moment, he had no choice. If he couldn't survive the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, he would be killed by the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. Heavenly demon dance in all directions with the support of the Great Tao Pill's majestic soul power, Mo Fengyun wielded the heavenly demon Tao weapon and constantly slashed out heavenly demon saber shadows to attack the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, causing cracks to appear on the Black Doomsday. A large number of Tao patterns merged into his flesh and blood, increasing his comprehension of Tao intent. The Black Doomsday cracked, and the extermination array patterns that surged out were even more powerful. They engulfed Mo Fengyun like a tide, and continued to worsen his injuries. Demon Heart explode. Mo Fengyun made up his mind and took the risk to detonate the power of the Demon Heart. A monstrous demonic aura poured out of his body, tearing his flesh apart and merging into his cells to resist the extermination array patterns. Mo Fengyun's action was very dangerous. If he was careless, he would be doomed eternally. However, with the heavenly fruit and Great Tao Pill's continuous healing, Mo Fengyun managed to survive the most difficult moment and accumulated enough energy. 5th grade combat Beast Emperor breakthrough. Mo Fengyun, who was covered in blood, shouted and controlled the powerful energy in his body. He broke through the bottleneck and became a 5th grade combat Beast Emperor. Heavenly demon dance in all directions the moment his strength surged. Mo Fengyun gathered his strongest power and slashed out 8 heavenly demon saber shadows, shattering the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment and surviving the heavenly punishment. When the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment shattered, it immediately transformed into a large number of Tao patterns that fused into Mo Fengyun's body, elevating his comprehension of Tao will. Blood shadow at the moment of the breakthrough, Mo Fengyun disregarded his injuries and turned into hundreds of blood shadows of various shapes and sizes. He besieged Yi Chunfeng and instantly surrounded him. In the next moment, Mo Fengyun executed the Shadow Tao insight and increased his speed as he flew towards the ethereal immortal domain with the intention of seizing the opportunity to kill his way out of the encirclement. Just as Mo Fengyun was about to break out of the encirclement, a dizzying force beyond his imagination blasted into his Sea of Soul, causing his Sea of Soul to tremble and produce a strong sense of dizziness. Mo Fengyun, stop your futile struggles and submit to me obediently. Yi Chunfeng unleashed an astonishing power, shattering the blood shadows that were attacking him. He appeared in front of Mo Fengyun, who had just broken through to the 5th-level Beast Emperor realm, and slammed his palm towards his head. Sensing the danger, Mo Fengyun woke up from his dizziness and instinctively defended himself. However, when the demonic light blasted out by Mo Fengyun hit Yi Chunfeng's palm, it shattered inch by inch. The palm that was filled with powerful Tao insight slammed heavily on his head, causing his head to crack. A large amount of blood flowed out from his 7 orifices. After cracking Mo Fengyun's head and knocking him out, Yi Chunfeng immediately brought him into the universe realm and took out the Soul Eater's brain. Through the crack in Mo Fengyun's head, it entered his Sea of Soul and eroded his consciousness. In a coma, Mo Fengyun was powerless to resist the invasion of the Soul Eater's brain. Soon, the Soul Eater's brain invaded his brain and took control of him. Whoosh! A basin of ice water was poured on Mo Fengyun's face, waking him up from his coma. Mo Fengyun, you will follow me from now on. Although you will lose some freedom, I will give you a broader stage. Yi Chunfeng looked at Mo Fengyun, who was unwilling but powerless to resist, and said plainly, "Yes." Because of the existence of the Soul Eater's brain, Mo Fengyun was powerless to resist Yi Chunfeng's thoughts. He nodded helplessly and spat out a word. "Mo Fengyun, it seems that you are still unconvinced. How about this? Let's make a bet. I will stand here and take your strongest move. If you can make me take a step back, I will return your freedom. What do you think? Yi Chunfeng looked at Emo Fengyun's unwilling expression and said slowly. Really? Emo Fengyun raised his eyebrows and revealed a trace of surprise. After breaking through to the 5th grade combat Beast Emperor realm, Emo Fengyun's attack power had increased by more than 10 times. He could even shatter annihilating heavenly punishment with his full strength. He was confident that he could make Yi Chunfeng tremble. Since I have said it, I will definitely do it. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said calmly, standing in silence. All right, I hope you will keep your promise. Emo Fengyun took a deep breath and a sharp light shot out from his eyes. He burned his chi, blood, and bloodline power to the greatest extent to increase his attack power. The terrifying Tao will and demonic chi blended together and transformed into various visions, which were terrifying. Be careful, Emo Fengyun exhorted. He ignored the injuries on his body and merged the power of the visions into the heavenly demon Tao soldier. He activated the heavenly demon dance in all directions and slashed out 8 times in an instant. The 8 heavenly demon blade shadows overlapped and turned the void upside down. Surging and roaring waves slashed toward Yi Chunfeng, trying to make him move. Divine demon bloodline sensing the great power of Emo Fengyun's slash, Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile. He instantly ignited his bloodline and transformed into the terrifying divine demon body. In the next moment, a large amount of Tao will gushed out from his body and blended together quickly to form a shield of Tao will to resist Emo Fengyun's heavenly demon dance in all directions. Boom, boom, boom. When the 8 overlapping slashes hit the shield of Tao will, there was a series of explosions. The terrifying power caused the void to tremble violently. Under Emo Fengyun's all-out attack, the shield of Tao will formed by Yi Chunfeng's deduction of Tao will shattered. The terrifying heavenly demon blade shadows slashed toward Yi Chunfeng with shocking power. In the face of the remaining power of the heavenly demon blade shadows, Yi Chunfeng's expression did not change at all. Silently, he stood in place and watched as the heavenly demon blade shadows slashed at his shoulder. Crack! Crack! When the 8 overlapping heavenly demon blades slashed at Yi Chunfeng's shoulder, they were immediately shattered by the power of more than 100 million kilograms surging in his body. They quickly disintegrated and finally dissipated in the void. Emo Fengyun, you should be willing to submit to me now, right? Yi Chunfeng looked at the dumbfounded Emo Fengyun and said indifferently, I'm willing. Emo Fengyun did not expect that he would still be unable to defeat Yi Chunfeng after breaking through to the level 5 combat Beast Emperor realm. A strong sense of helplessness arose in his heart. He obediently lowered his noble head and submitted to Yi Chunfeng. These are for you. After Emo Fengyun submitted to him, Yi Chunfeng was not stingy. He gave him the mid-grade Tao Tool Weeping Blood Demon Blade, the Tao Tool Ghost Killing Array Diagram, and the low-grade Holy Art Green Heaven Secret Art. Holding the 3 great treasures that Yi Chunfeng gave him, Emo Fengyun's eyes were wide open and his hands could not help but tremble. When his soul entered the jade slip, it was as if he was struck by lightning. His mind went blank and he stood there in a daze. He did not react for a long time. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 995. Qingfeng, you've subdued him? Kong Sungchen and the others who were waiting at the ethereal immortal realm asked when they saw Emo Fengyun respectfully following Yi Chunfeng to the outside world. Watermark advertisement test well. Emo Fengyun is one of us from now on. Yi Chunfeng nodded and transmitted his voice to Xue Piaoling and the others. He told them why he didn't kill Emo Fengyun and why he kept him by his side. They understood. Well, since Mo Fengyun is willing to submit to you, let's forget about all the grudges. Shui Songqin glanced at Mo Fengyun, who was standing behind Yi Chunfeng, and said, now that Mo Fengyun had submitted, Ethereal Mountain was no longer a threat. Yi Chunfeng gave Shui Piaoling the pseudo-Dao treasure blood skull avatar that he got from killing Blood Demon. He also gave her hundreds of spiritual herb seeds that he got from the ancient herb garden and asked her to plant them in Ethereal Mountain. If nurtured well, these hundreds of spiritual herbs would be enough to restore the spirituality of Ethereal Mountain and make it a paradise again. Mo Fengyun, come with me. I have something to ask you. After settling Jiang Xingchen and the others down on a cliff with a nice view, Yi Chunfeng had Shui Piaoling and the others start rebuilding. Then, he called Mo Fengyun to a secluded place. Young Master Yi, do you want to ask about Miss Yu's situation? Mo Fengyun asked cleverly. Well, I want to know about Nichang's situation. Is she okay? Yi Chunfeng nodded and said. Back then, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang made a 3-year promise. However, the situation in Xingluo continent was too complicated. Not only was the Octahead Kingdom involved, but it also involved the inheritance of the divine tribe. Yi Chunfeng had wasted too much time. Therefore, he was very eager to know about Yu Nichang's situation and make a plan. Miss Yu seems to have been locked up in the forbidden area by the Yu family and hasn't shown up for so many years. However, as far as I know, Miss Yu's situation is fine. No one has come to propose marriage for so many years. That's good. Yi Chunfeng let out a long sigh of relief. His heart was finally at ease. As long as Yu Nikhang was fine, all the problems would be solved. However, there has been some unrest in the eastern continent these years. A mysterious force has invaded the eastern continent and cooperated with the East Sea Palace to open the abyss of hell in the depths of the East Sea and seize the opportunities inside. Mo Fengyun. Mysterious faction, abyss of hell. Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly. Back when Yi Chunfeng refined the primal chaos divine wood, the words, Eastern Continent's Abyss of Hell, appeared in the primal chaos divine wood. This made Yi Chunfeng suspect that the Abyss of Hell might be related to his origin. Yi Chunfeng asked, was the mysterious power from the Central Continent's divine nation? From Yes. But he essay. Fengyun's. Yi Chunfeng pondered and asked, do you know if the Yu family has any contact with people from this? I don't know. The Yu family doesn't trust me. That's why I didn't stay in the Yu family for long. However, with Yu Chan's ambition, she wouldn't waste the opportunity to get in touch with us. Tao of Demons. It seems like I have to hurry to the Yu family to propose marriage. Yi Chunfeng thought to himself. Mo Fengyun, don't mention to anyone that you've submitted to me. Erase part of the soul memories of the West Demon Sect's disciples. I don't want the Yu family to know that I'm coming. Yi Chunfeng ordered, not allowing anyone to refuse. Mo Fengyun nodded and obeyed. After the conversation, Yi Chunfeng found Shui Piaoling and gave her the Class 8 Heavenly Beast, twin-tailed demonic fox, to be her contracted beast. Since the Fu family had joined the Misty Mountain, Fu Qingshan chose to stay and guard the place. He didn't follow Yi Chunfeng to the eastern continent. After the arrangements were made, Yi Chunfeng bade farewell to everyone. Accompanied by Kong Sungchen, the King of Massacre, and the others, he left the Misty Mountain and rushed to the eastern continent to propose marriage. Moon Cliff, one of the Yu family's forbidden grounds. Nikhang, it's been 4 years. Are you still not giving up? He should be dead and won't be coming back. Yu Rao was wearing a white robe with a phoenix pattern on it. She had a head full of silver hair and sharp eyes. She held a dragon-headed walking stick and slowly walked to the side of Yu Nishang, who was sitting cross-legged on the edge of the cliff. She looked at her thin face and slowly said, if Qingfeng is dead, I'll accompany him. Yu Nikhang closed her eyes and said calmly, Nikhang, is it worth it for you to do this for a man? Even if he is not dead, do you think he would dare to come back? If he dares to come back, both your father and your ancestor will kill him. Yu Rao said in a low voice. Also, there is a great opportunity in front of you, but you don't cherish it. Do you know how many people are jealous of this opportunity? I don't want this opportunity. Whoever wants it can take it. Yu Nikhang said without a trace of emotion. Her calm voice showed that her heart was already dead. Yu Rao's eyes were filled with anger. She said in a low voice, Nikhang, if you believe that Yi Chunfeng dares to come back, then you should worship Master Qian as your teacher. For Master Qian's sake, I can make the decision to spare Yi Chunfeng's life. Everything will wait until Qingfeng comes back. Before he comes back, I won't make any decisions. Yu Nikhang said resolutely. Yu Nikhang, I hope you don't challenge my patience. Otherwise, I promise you will regret it. Yu Rao said angrily when she saw that Yu Nikhang was stubborn. If he dies, I won't live alone. So, it doesn't matter whether I worship him as my teacher or not, let alone regret it. Yu Nishang slowly opened her eyes. She looked at Yu Rao's gloomy face and indifferently said, Yu Nikhang, you can't make this decision. For the family, you must worship Master Qian as your teacher. Yu Rao lost her patience and gave an irresistible order. Ancestor, I am a person. I am not a tool of the Yu family. If you force me again, I would rather kill myself than compromise. Yu Nikhang said firmly. Yu Rao's face twisted in anger. Okay, I won't force you. But Nikhang, I advise you to think about it carefully. Worship Master Qian as your teacher will only bring you benefit. If you anger Master Qian, not only you, but the entire Yu family will be buried with you. Do you want to see that? Yu Rao saw that Yu Nikhang was threatening her with death, and did not dare to anger her anymore. She suppressed her anger and used both the carrot and the stick. After speaking, Yu Rao left the moon cliff angrily. Qingfeng, I miss you so much. Where are you? Please be safe. Yu Nikhang knew that Yi Chunfeng was a man of his word. However, 3 years had passed, and there was no news of Yi Chunfeng. She could not help but worry that something had happened to Yi Chunfeng. Just as Yu Nikhang stood on the moon cliff and looked into the distance and was lost in thought, a powerful aura came through the void and pressed down on her body. It made it difficult for her to breathe and her legs trembled. In the next moment, a man in a red robe with a face covered in thick makeup, lips like fire, and long black hair draped over his shoulders. He had a tall and sturdy figure, and his body emitted the fragrance of makeup as he stepped through the air. Seeing this strange man, Yu Nikhang, who was under great pressure, showed disgust in her eyes. However, there was a trace of panic in her heart. She had a bad premonition. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 996. What do you want? Yu Nishang took a deep breath and suppressed the fear in her heart. She looked at the demon wearing a red robe, who was neither a man nor a woman, and asked in a low voice. Watermark advertisement test. Don't be nervous. I don't have any ill intentions. I just want to see my good disciple. The red-robed man's red lips curled up slightly, but he spoke in a strange female voice. I'm not your disciple, and I don't need you to see me. Yu Nikhang said coldly. Yu Nikhang, I really don't understand why you're so resistant to becoming my disciple. Do you think I'm not worthy of being your master? Or do you think I'll harm you? The red-robed man smiled faintly and spoke like a woman. I don't know if you'll harm me, but you must have a motive for choosing me. Tell me your true motive. Yu Nikhang bit her lips tightly as she endured the pressure. Alright, since you want to know, then I'll tell you. I'm interested in the power hidden in your body. If you offer it to me, I can give it to you, give you benefits that the Yu clan can't even imagine. The red-robed man pursed his lips and smiled. His strange appearance made Yu Nikhang feel like vomiting. I don't have any hidden power in my body. You're wrong. Yu Nishang's arms were tightly crossed in front of her. She looked at the red-robed man with a pale face and said vigilantly, Sigh, I'm sincere, but you don't appreciate it. Since that's the case, don't blame me for forcefully taking away the mysterious power in your body. As he spoke, a large amount of will of Tao gushed out of the red-robed man's body, transforming into a huge hand of will of Tao. It grabbed the pale-faced and trembling Moon Raiment, directly grabbing her in its hand. Let go of me. If you don't let go of me, I'll kill myself immediately. Unikhang struggled as she warned. Blue veins squirmed on her forehead, and she seemed to be in extreme pain. During this time, no one from the Yu family appeared. In order to curry favor with the God Nation's expert, the Yu family chose to sacrifice Unikhang again in exchange for the family's benefits. Kill yourself. It's not up to you. The red-robed man revealed a strange smile as a large amount of Tao insight broke through the defenses of Unichang's body and bore into her body, directly sealing all the meridians in her body and not giving her a chance to commit suicide. The next moment, a blood-red devouring vortex appeared in the red-robed man's palm. He pressed it against Unichang's head and forcibly stole the mysterious power hidden in her body. Stop! Stop! The terrifying devouring power drilled into Unichang's body, making her feel as if her body was being torn apart. It was so painful that she was hovering between life and death. However, the red-robed man did not care. He relied on his powerful strength to forcibly seize the mysterious power within Unichang's body. Right when Unikhang was on the verge of fainting from the pain and her life was hanging by a thread, a strand of terrifying energy suddenly effused out from her body, and it instantly shattered the devouring energy and Tao inside hand before blasting the red-robed man, who wasn't able to dodge in time, flying. What a terrible power! The red-robed man's expression changed slightly. His right hand that was hidden in his sleeve was torn open by this power. A large amount of blood seeped out, and his entire hand trembled incessantly. After the mysterious power forced the red-robed man back, Unikhang, who was bleeding from the corner of her mouth, suddenly raised her right hand and slapped towards the top of her head. She wanted to commit suicide. Stop! The red-robed man sped up and appeared beside Unikhang. He grabbed her hand and did not give her the chance to commit suicide. Don't be agitated. It's fine if you don't want to take me as your master. I won't force you. You don't have to commit suicide. The red-robed man concealed the greed in his eyes. Several thoughts flashed through his mind. He said coldly, leaving behind the weeping Moon Raiment. Then, he turned around and left. Qingfeng, can you tell me what I should do? Yu Ruisheng's face was covered in tears as she collapsed on the ground. She allowed the tears to flow down her beautiful face as she spoke helplessly and desperately. The East Sea was the most mysterious and largest ocean among the 4 continents. No one knew how large it was, and no one knew how many fortuitous encounters were hidden in the East Sea because no one had explored the entire sea. Just as Yi Chunfeng's group was hurrying towards Yu Province City, a change occurred in the East Sea. A tremendous sound exploded in the depths of the East Sea, and the terrifying power directly collapsed several thousand kilometers of the sea, turning it into a vacuum zone. A large number of cultivators were killed by this sudden explosion, and countless sea beasts were reduced to ashes. Not even their corpses were left behind. As the explosion in the East Sea grew louder and louder, a spatial crack that stretched for an unknown number of kilometers appeared in the ocean, devouring everything in the space. The news of the upheaval in the East Sea spread like a hurricane across the entire eastern continent, causing a huge uproar. The higher-ups of the Yu family were alarmed and gathered together. According to the information from spies, the restrictions of the Abyss of Hell had been loosened. It would not be long before the experts of the Kirin Kingdom and the East Sea Palace would be able to break through the restrictions and enter. The Abyss of Hell was known as the greatest secret of the eastern continent, and the fortuitous encounters hidden inside were unimaginable. If the Yu family could obtain one of them, the benefits would be unimaginable. Yu Chan, who was wearing a black robe and had a black beard around his mouth, exuding a domineering aura, put down the teacup in his hand and spoke. After nearly 4 years of cultivation, Yu Chan's strength had improved again, reaching the 5th grade Beast Emperor realm. However, he was not satisfied, and wanted to break through to the 6th grade Beast Emperor realm. That way, no one in the entire Yu family would be able to shake his position. Whether or not we could enter the abyss of hell would depend on Nichang's attitude. If she was willing to become Lord Qian's disciple, then the Yu family would be able to establish a relationship with the Kirin kingdom and enter the abyss of hell. However, if she insisted on refusing and angered Lord Qian, then we could forget about obtaining any fortuitous encounters in the abyss of hell. Yu Rao, who was holding a dragon-headed walking stick with a gloomy expression, slowly spoke. That's right, Nikhang is the key to entering the abyss of hell. Although Lord Qian did not leave any harsh words before he left, his attitude showed that he was very angry. If the Yu family was unable to quell his anger, everyone should be clear about the consequences. The second master of the Yu family, Yu Shan, who had been secretly competing with Yu Chan, nodded and spoke with ill intentions. Yu Shan is right, Nikhang had already angered Lord Qian once. I do not wish for it to happen a second time. Yu Gu, who was the mainstay of the Yu family and had just broken through to the 6th grade Beast Emperor realm, nodded and said, Yu Chan, Nikhang is your daughter, I will leave this matter to you. Don't worry, ancestor, I will handle Nichang's matter. No matter what, I will definitely make her become Lord Qian's disciple. Yu Chan glanced coldly at Yu Shan and promised. All right. Yu Gu nodded and said, as long as Nikhang agrees to become Lord Qian's disciple, the Yu family is willing to agree to any of her conditions. Just as the Yu family reached a consensus and prepared to persuade Yu Nikhang to become Lord Qian's disciple, the Yu family's old housekeeper walked in and said respectfully, "Two ancestors, Master, there are 4 people outside who claim to be messengers from the Xingluo heavenly city. They brought betrothal gifts to the Yu family and proposed marriage to Miss Nikhang on behalf of their Lord Qian." Proposing marriage to Nikhang? Yu Chan and the others opened their eyes wide, revealing a surprised expression. What was the origin of the Xingluo heavenly city? Who was the Lord Qian? How did he know about Nikhang? Yu Chan had never been to the Xingluo continent, so he didn't know about the origin of the Xingluo heavenly city. However, regarding this marriage proposal, he felt a trace of suspicion, and Yi Chunfeng's figure involuntarily appeared in his mind. After letting them in, Yu Gu pondered for a while and said, I would like to see who this Xingluo heavenly city lord is. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 997. Yes, the person who came was not Yi Chenfeng. Yu Chan and the others frowned slightly as they looked at the King of Massacre, who was dressed in long black robes. His face was cold as if it had been carved by a knife, and he unconsciously exuded a sharp aura as he walked. Jiang Xingchen and the other 2 had cold and arrogant expressions as they followed behind him. Watermark advertisement test. Although the King of Massacre and the other 3 had deliberately concealed their strength, Yu Gu, Yu Chan and the others felt a dangerous aura when they first saw them. The King of Massacre's group of 4 had just walked into the luxurious and magnificent main hall when Yu Gu's turbid eyes shot out resplendent starlight. A powerful aura was emitted from his body, like a towering mountain range, oppressing the 4 of them. Humph! Being oppressed by Yu Gu's aura, Bai Feng, who was standing on the far left, snorted coldly. An even more terrifying aura was emitted from his body, shattering the oppressing aura like an avalanche. Like a surging tide, it bombarded Yu Gu, whose expression changed greatly. Gotcha! Being attacked by Bai Feng's aura, the ancient wooden chair Yu Gu was sitting on instantly turned into dust. Although he resisted this terrifying aura with his strength, the blood and qi in his body started to boil. Just as he was shocked by Baifeng's strength, confrontations and unveil simultaneously released their powerful auras, oppressing Yu Gu, causing him to feel suffocated in an instant. 3 level 6 beast emperors feeling the auras released by Baifeng and the other two, Yu Gu's heart was in turmoil. He did not expect confrontations and the other two to be level 6 beast emperors like him, and even stronger than him. Yu family head, is this how the Yu family treats their guests? The King of Massacre looked coldly at Yu Chan, whose expression was uncertain, and questioned in a low voice. Please don't misunderstand, we don't mean any harm. The old ancestor is a martial fanatic. When he sees experts of the same realm, he likes to compete with them. Yu Chan instantly returned to normal and explained softly. Not bad, level 6 beast emperors are rare in the eastern continent, and the strength of the 3 of you is truly admirable. Several thoughts flashed through Yu Gu's mind as he found himself a way out. That's right, I don't know who the city lord is, and how does he know about Nikhang? Seeing confrontations, unveil retracted her aura. Yu Chan let out a sigh of relief and changed the topic. If you agree to our city lord's proposal of marriage, you will naturally be able to see our city lord. As for how they met, let's wait for our city lord to personally tell us. The King of Massacre said in a tone that was neither arrogant nor humble. Proposing marriage is a very important matter. Can we discuss it first? Yu Chan quickly exchanged a glance with Yu Gu and asked politely. Okay, the King of Massacre nodded and said. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and arrange seats for our guests. Don't neglect our guests. Yu Chan ordered loudly. After the King of Massacre and the other 3 were seated and tea was served, Yu Chan transmitted her voice to Yu Gu and Yu Rao, 2 old ancestors. Do you think the city lord of Xingluo Sky City is Yi Chunfeng? It shouldn't be. Yu Gu thought for a while and said, with that Yi Chunfeng's strength, there's no way he could tame 3 level 6 beast emperors. It's even more impossible for him to become the city lord of Xingluo Sky City. That's right. At first, I also suspected that the city lord of Xingluo Sky City was Yi Chunfeng. But now, it seems like it's almost impossible. The power of Xingluo Sky City is probably even more terrifying than the East Sea Palace. Yu Rao nodded and agreed. But the appearance of these 4 people was too strange. Moreover, Nikhang hadn't shown her face in the outside world for the past few years. How did the city lord of Xingluo Sky City know her? Yu Chan transmitted her voice with a frown. Although Nikhang hadn't left the Yu family for the past few years, she had been training outside. Moreover, she had followed Yi Chunfeng overseas once. The city lord of Xingluo Sky City was most likely an overseas power. Perhaps they had met a few years ago. Yu Gu analyzed. Old ancestor, what do you think we should do? If we agree to the city lord of Xingluo Sky City's marriage proposal, we will definitely become enemies with Lord Qian. But if we don't agree, I'm afraid they won't let it go either. Yu Chan said with some difficulty. Yu Chan, it's still too early for us to consider these things. Everything still depends on Nichang's attitude. Yu Gu transmitted his voice, tell me honestly. How confident are you in persuading Nikhang to accept Lord Qian as her master? At most 10% or even lower, Yu Chan said with some helplessness. Therefore, my Yu family wanting to get close to the Kirin kingdom was just wishful thinking. However, the appearance of the city lord of Xingluo Sky City gave my Yu family hope to rise again. If my Yu family can form a marriage alliance with them and develop our overseas power, it might be a good opportunity for us, Yu Gu said cunningly. But I'm afraid that Nikhang will still refuse. Thinking about Yu Nichang's attitude, Yu Chan felt a headache and annoyance. How do you know if you don't try? Maybe under the pressure from Lord Qian, Nikhang will compromise. Yu Rao said. Okay, then let's try. Because she rejected the idea that the city lord of Xingluo Sky City was Yi Chunfeng, Yu Chan decided to test Yu Nichang's attitude. If she could form a relationship with the city lord of Xingluo Sky City, it would be a good choice. 4 distinguished guests, I just discussed with the 2 old ancestors. We do hope to form a marriage alliance with your city, but my daughter is a bit stubborn, so I have to ask for her opinion first. Yu Chan glanced at the King of Massacre and the others who were drinking tea in silence. Of course, but before that, you family's head should take a look at our betrothal gift. As he spoke, the King of Massacre took out the things he had prepared to propose marriage from his universe ring. Looking at the 14 Tao artifacts floating in front of the King of Massacre, the entire hall was filled with gasps. Almost everyone's gaze was attracted to them. My Xingluo Sky City's betrothal gifts are 1 mid-grade Tao artifact, 3 low-grade Tao artifacts, 10 pseudo-Tao artifacts, 3 Tao pills, and 2 high-grade Tao jade slip. Looking at the burning gazes of the crowd, the King of Massacre slowly said, "What a big deal." After seeing the betrothal gifts that the King of Massacre took out, Yu Gu, Yu Chan, and the others were really moved. Compared to the betrothal gifts that the East Sea Palace brought, they could only be described as shabby. This also allowed them to see that Xingluo Sky City's strength and foundation definitely surpassed the East Sea Palace's. If Miss Nikhang agrees to our city lord's proposal, these gifts will be yours. The King of Massacre looked at Yu Chan's burning gaze and said temptingly, "Don't worry, I will do my best to persuade Nikhang." Yu Chan took a deep breath and suppressed the excitement in her heart as she promised. He did not doubt that if he could obtain these betrothal gifts, his strength would increase greatly. He would also be able to use the Tao pills to build the most solid foundation and prepare to break through to Class 6 Combat Beast Emperor. "Oh right, you family head, before we came here, our city lord asked me to pass this jade slip to Miss Nikhang. Maybe she will agree to our city lord's proposal." The King of Massacre took out another jade slip and passed it to Yu Chan. "Okay, I will pass it to Nikhang." Yu Chan nodded and said, "Many thanks, these 5 pseudo-Tao pills will be a gift to the Yu family head for your hard work. We will be back in 3 days. I hope you won't disappoint our city lord." The King of Massacre kept the betrothal gifts and left behind the 5 pseudo-Tao pills. Yu Chan and the others personally sent him off as he left the Yu family residence. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 998. Forefather, what is the background of Xingluo Heaven City? Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Back in the hall, Yu Shan asked with jealousy. If Yu Chan were to get close to Xingluo Heaven City, then he would have no chance of becoming the head of the Yu family. He might even be killed by Yu Chan. Xingluo Heaven City should be a superpower in the sea. Judging from their power and wealth, they should be more powerful than the East Sea Palace. Yu Gu took a sip of the tea filled with spiritual energy and said slowly, "Forefather, I feel that their appearance is too sudden. Something is wrong. If we marry Xingluo Heaven City, we will offend Master Qian. Please reconsider." Yu Shan objected. Yu Shan, at this moment, put away your petty thoughts. I have already made my decision. I don't need you to change it. Yu Gu glared at Yu Shan angrily and said, "Okay, Yu Chan stays. Everyone else can go back." "Forefather, should we look at the contents of this jade slip?" After Yu Shan and the others left, Yu Chan looked at the palm-sized jade slip in her hand and asked, "Give me the jade slip. I want to see who the Castellan of Xingluo Heaven City is." Yu Gu took the jade slip and released his powerful soul into the jade slip. He wanted to see the contents of the jade slip. Buzz. As soon as Yu Gu's soul entered the jade slip, he felt a strong dizziness coming from the jade slip. It shook his soul. Then, the soul restriction in the jade slip exploded with a shocking power. It fought fiercely with Yu Gu's soul. About half an incense stick of time later, Yu Gu, whose forehead was dripping with sweat, paid the price of injuring his soul to break the spell on the jade slip. He released his soul and penetrated it, discovering that the jade slip only contained a set of basic body-tempering soul spells. Besides that, there was no other information. Forefather, are you okay? Seeing the blood flowing out of Yu Gu's 7 orifices, Yu Chan's heart tightened. She quickly stepped forward and asked, "What a terrifying restriction. This person's soul is unimaginably strong, far stronger than mine." Yu Gu took a deep breath and wiped away the blood flowing out from his 7 orifices. He said with lingering fear, "If that's the case, Xingluo Sky City's City Lord is also a level 6 Beast Emperor." Yu Chan asked in surprise. If Xingluo Sky City's City Lord could really become his son-in-law, then he would be able to obtain unimaginable benefits from him. Breaking through to level 6 Beast Emperor was just around the corner. Yu Gu pondered for a moment and said, "If it was even higher, wouldn't that mean that Yu Chan's eyes widened and she felt like she was about to faint from surprise?" "Yu Chan, don't be happy too early. Everything depends on Nichang's attitude. If she doesn't agree, not only will we not be able to rely on Xingluo Sky City's big tree, we might even offend them." Yu Gu looked at Yu Chan, who couldn't hide her joy, and said in a low voice, "Yes, I will try my best to persuade Nikhang. When the time comes, I will need the cooperation of the 2 forefathers." Yu Chan revealed a smile and discussed with Yu Gu how to persuade Yu Nikhang. A cool breeze blew past, causing Yu Nichang's long black hair to flutter. She looked as if she had lost her soul. She stared blankly into the distance, lost in endless thoughts. Suddenly, the sound of light footsteps entered her ears, pulling her back from her thoughts. "Don't try to persuade me. Even if I die, I won't take that transvestite as my master." Yu Nikhang saw Yu Chan and the other 2 arrive. Her dead eyes didn't show any reaction. Her voice was filled with determination. "Nikhang, we know that Qian Huahua doesn't have good intentions in taking you as his disciple. However, the Kirin Kingdom is too powerful. Our Yu family can't contend against them, so we have no choice but to sacrifice you. However, since you don't agree, then father won't force you. In order to make Qian Huahua give up, we have arranged a marriage for you. As long as you marry him, Qian Huahua will naturally give up. Our Yu family's crisis will also be resolved." Yu Chan revealed a loving smile and said, "You can give up. Apart from Tringfeng, I won't marry anyone else." Yu Nikhang refused without hesitation. "Nikhang, why are you still so stubborn?" Yu Chan said helplessly, "Yi Tringfeng is dead. He won't come back. If you don't marry, you won't be able to escape from Qian Huahua's evil hands. Yes, we are doing this for your own good. The marriage we arranged for you is from overseas. As long as you marry him, Qian Huahua won't be able to do anything to you even if he has 3 heads and 6 arms." Yu Rao echoed from the side. Overseas. As soon as Yu Rao's voice fell, Yu Nishang's lifeless eyes shone with a bright light. Ripples appeared in her tranquil heart. "Well, you should know that person. He calls himself the Castellan of Xingluo Sky City." Yu Gu nodded and said, "This is the jade scroll he gave you. Take a look." Taking the jade scroll from Yu Gu, Yu Nichang's hands trembled. Many thoughts flashed through her mind. There was excitement, hesitation, expectation, and fear. She vaguely felt that the Castellan of Xingluo Sky City could be Yi Chunfeng, but she was afraid that it wasn't. When she released her soul into the jade scroll and found that it was the 6 Meridian God Gang cultivation method, her heart was filled with excitement. Large amounts of tears welled up in her eyes. "He's back. He's really back. He's fine. My wait wasn't in vain. I've finally found him." At this moment, Yu Nikhang felt like she was in a dream. She had the urge to scream and vent her frustration. But in order to not let Yu Gu and the others see through her, Yu Nikhang suppressed the urge in her heart and tried to calm herself down. "Nikhang, do you really know him? Where did he come from? What's his background?" Although Yu Nikhang tried to hide it, the experienced Yu Gu and the others still saw through her. Yu Chan asked in a low voice, "He's my friend overseas. I agree to this marriage." Yu Nikhang showed a smile that had disappeared for a long time and asked, "Haha, my good daughter, you're finally thinking about us." Seeing Yu Nikhang agree, Yu Chan's hanging heart finally settled down. In his opinion, his daughter's happiness was far less than the betrothal gift from the king of murder. As long as Yu Nikhang agreed to marry, everything else was not a problem. "Okay, Nikhang, go back with father and prepare. Father will contact them now and confirm the date of your marriage. This time, I'll definitely marry off in a grand manner." To avoid any more accidents, Yu Gu wanted to confirm this marriage as soon as possible and get the betrothal gift. Yu Nikhang nodded and adjusted her state of mind. She left Moon Cliff, where she had been sitting for almost 4 years, and returned to the Yu family to wait for Yi Chunfeng to come and ask for her hand in marriage. "Young Master Yi, the Yu family's housekeeper is here and says that the Yu family has agreed to your marriage proposal." The king of murder came to Yi Chunfeng's cultivation room and said in a low voice, "Tell him that I will personally bring the betrothal gift to the Yu family tomorrow morning to ask for their hand in marriage and discuss the date of the marriage. At that time, I want to see Nikhang." Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said. The king of murder nodded. "Yu family, I hope that you won't do anything overboard tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll definitely make you regret it." Yi Chunfeng's deep eyes shone with a light that was sharper than a knife as he muttered to himself. 4 years ago, he ran away from the Yu family like a stray dog. This time, he had turned into a ferocious tiger. He bared his long fangs and announced his return to everyone. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 999. Early in the morning, the moon hadn't set yet, and the eastern sky was hazy. Suddenly, a ray of dawn revealed itself from the hazy sky and illuminated the entire earth. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Let's go to the Yu family residence. After bathing and changing into a clean set of clothes, Yi Chunfeng was accompanied by Kong Sungchen and the others. They stepped on the first rays of the morning sun and headed towards the Yu family's residence at the center of Moon State City. Because Yi Chunfeng intentionally concealed his true identity, the Yu family's spies hidden in the city were unable to see through his appearance under the interference of a large amount of illusion Dao patterns. Soon enough, Yi Chunfeng and the others arrived outside the Yu family's residence. Yu Chan and the others who received the news had been waiting for them outside the Yu family's residence since a long time ago. Ni Chong, when he saw Yu Nikhang standing by Yu Chan's side, Yi Chunfeng's expressionless face revealed a trace of excitement, and the tenderness in his eyes seemed to be able to melt one's heart. She was wearing a flower-patterned white pleated dress with a smoky silk scarf tied around her waist. She had a tall and graceful figure, and her brows were like crescent moons, and her eyes were like a myriad of stars. Ching Feng. Even though the illusion Dao intent concealed Yi Chunfeng's true appearance, Yu Nikhang was still able to recognize Yi Chunfeng at first glance. Her body stiffened, and large amounts of tears streaked down her absolutely beautiful face. At this moment, Yu Nikhang forgot the time, forgot the location, and forgot everything. She disregarded everything and ran over. Under the astonished gazes of Yu Chan and the others, she threw herself into Yi Chunfeng's embrace and hugged him tightly as if she wanted to fuse herself into his body. "Nikhang, I'm back." Yi Chunfeng gently embraced Yu Nichang's soft body and leaned his head beside her ear as he spoke softly. "Chingfeng, I miss you. I miss you so much." Yu Nikhang buried her head in Yi Chunfeng's strong chest and felt the familiar scent and warmth from his body. Her tears fell uncontrollably. "I miss you too. From now on, we will never be apart," Yi Chunfeng promised softly. Just like that, the two of them leaned on each other tightly. At this moment, their hearts were also fused together, and there was no distinction between them. This is this. When they saw the scene before them, Yu Gu, Yu Chan, and the others were stunned, and they looked at Yi Chunfeng in unison as they wanted to see through the illusory Tao insight and see his true identity clearly. Meanwhile, Yi Chunfeng dispersed the illusory Tao insight and revealed his true appearance. Yi Chunfeng, it's really him. How could it possibly be him? When they saw Yi Chunfeng's true appearance, Yu Chan and the others felt as if they were struck by a bolt from the blue, and their bodies trembled as all of them were dumbstruck. Subsequently, Yu Chan felt as if he'd been played, and flames of rage that shot into the sky erupted from his body. Yi Chunfeng, how audacious of you to actually dare play tricks on us. I won't forgive you today. As he spoke, Yu Chan circulated the Heaven Dance Devil technique at high speeds, causing a devil shadow that was over 30 m tall to float up into appearance from his body, and it carried boundless devilish qi as it attacked Yi Chunfeng. Qing Feng, watch out. Yu Nikheng never expected that Yu Chan would suddenly make a move, and her heart constricted as she intended to stand before Yi Chunfeng and help him resist the attack of the devil shadow. Don't be afraid, your father can't hurt me. Yi Chunfeng revealed a proud and aloof smile as he gently extended a finger, and it exploded with a force of millions of kilograms. Like a pillar that supported the heavens, his finger pointed towards the devil shadow that was overflowing with devilish qi. Qi. The Heaven Dance devil shadow was torn apart like a piece of cloth by Yi Chunfeng's finger, and it disappeared into the void. What? Everyone in the Yu family was stunned when they saw Yi Chunfeng tear apart the Heaven Dance devil shadow with a single finger. Even Yu Gu and Yu Rao revealed shocked expressions. They were shocked by Yi Chunfeng's attack power. Yu family head, today is the big day of my engagement with Nikheng. I don't want to see blood, and I don't want to kill anyone. I hope you won't force me. Yi Chunfeng looked at Yu Chan, whose expression had changed drastically, and spoke in an overbearing manner. What arrogance! Yu Chan flew into a rage out of humiliation and said, "Let me tell you, don't you ever think of stepping into the Yu family." As soon as Yu Chan's words fell, the King of Slaughter and the other three all released their powerful auras, locking onto Yu Chan. The terrifying auras caused her legs to tremble, and even breathing became difficult. Roar! Just as the battle was about to erupt, two piercing dragon roars rang out from within the Yu family mansion. A two-headed, 500-meter-long Level 9 heavenly beast Black Jiao dragon flew out of the Yu family mansion, roaring furiously at Yi Chunfeng and the others. Blue Sky Seal Yi Chunfeng's pupils shrank, and he circulated the Green Sky secret art at high speed. A large amount of heavenly energy gathered, and a green sky seal with innate Tao patterns flew out of Yi Chunfeng's body, pressing down on the two-headed Black Jiao dragon like a mountain. As Yi Chunfeng's mastery of the green sky secret art grew deeper and deeper, the power of the blue sky seal grew stronger and stronger. When the terrifying blue sky seal smashed into the two-headed Black Jiao dragon, it broke through its tough dragon scales, and smashed its body into a bloody mess. Tao of two extremes of life and death. Yi Chunfeng pushed the Tao of life and death to the extreme, and struck out with the Tao of life and death Tao disc. It tore through the void above the Yu family mansion, and smashed into the two-headed Black Jiao dragon, sending its huge body flying, smashing into several ancient Yu family buildings. In just 3 years, how did this Yi Chunfeng's strength become so strong? Is he really human? After witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng heavily injuring the Level 9 heavenly beast, the two-headed Black Jiao dragon, Yu Gu and the others were so shocked that their eyeballs almost fell out. They couldn't imagine how Yi Chunfeng had cultivated for the past 3 years. It could be said that Yi Chunfeng's cultivation speed had exceeded their imagination, and his strength had shocked everyone present, causing their hearts to tremble. Yu Chan, let me ask you one last time. Do you want to marry Nikheng to me obediently, or do you want to fight to the death with me? Relying on his absolute strength to shock everyone present, Yi Chunfeng looked at Yu Chan, who was enduring the pressure and whose face was flushed red, and questioned coldly. Yi Chunfeng, are you really the city lord of Xingluo Heaven City? After witnessing Yi Chunfeng's strength, and seeing the current situation, Yu Gu asked softly. That's right, I am the city lord of Xingluo Heaven City. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, if I agree to marry Nikhang to you, all the betrothal gifts that you took out previously, Yi Chunfeng interrupted Yu Gu, saying in a rich and overbearing manner. Old ancestor, no. Seeing that Yu Gu was about to compromise, Yu Chan panicked. If she really married Yu Nikhang to Yi Chunfeng, he would become the laughing stock of the entire eastern continent. Yu Chan, do you think your face is more important than your life? Do you believe that we will remove your Yu family from the entire eastern continent? The king of massacre, dressed in black robes and emanating a thick killing intent, threatened coldly. Do you think we can't do it? Looking at Yu Chan's gloomy face, the king of massacre said without holding back. I will make the decision for this matter. Yi Chunfeng, my Yu clan has seen your sincerity and your feelings for an Aishang. I agree to let an Aishang marry you. However, if I marry Nikhang to you, my Yu family will definitely become enemies with the Kirin kingdom. Therefore, after you marry Nikhang, we will need your protection. The cunning Yu Gu said. Sure. Although Yi Chunfeng didn't like the Yu family, Yu Chan, and Yu Gu, the Yu family was still Yu Nichang's home. For the sake of Yu Nikhang, he didn't want to become enemies with the Yu family, nor did he want anything to happen to the Yu family. Therefore, he agreed without hesitation. Qingfeng, thank you. Yu Nikhang was touched when she saw Yi Chunfeng making such a sacrifice for her. As long as I can marry you, I will agree to any conditions. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said tenderly. All right, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and welcome the new son-in-law. Yu Gu seemed to have forgotten about the previous unpleasantness. He immediately ordered people to invite Yi Chunfeng and the others to the Yu family's old residence. The heaven-made couple would finally be together. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1000. The Yu family compromised, and Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nichang's marriage was no longer obstructed. Watermark advertisement test under the personal supervision of Yu Gu, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nichang's wedding was set for 3 days later. Perhaps it was to curry favor with Yi Chunfeng, but the Yu clan attached great importance to the marriage between the two of them. The entire Yu clan's old mansion was decorated. The old mansion was filled with beautiful spirit flowers, and their fragrance filled the air. Long red ribbons were wrapped around the walls and eaves, and large red lanterns were hung high up. The entire Yu family was filled with a joyous atmosphere. For a moment, the entire Moon Province city was bustling with noise and excitement. Cultivators came in an endless stream to congratulate them. The Heaven's Sword Palace Master came to congratulate them. The 9 Nether Mountain Grand Elder came to congratulate them. The Cold Moon Palace Master came to congratulate them. When the wedding day of Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang arrived, except for the East Sea Palace, almost all the forces in the eastern continent came to congratulate them. Brother Qingfeng, congratulations on getting a beauty. Wearing a white robe, Jian Chen and Jian Mali, who had broken through to the rank 2 Beast Emperor realm, came to Yi Chunfeng's side and congratulated him softly. Thank you, when will we drink your wedding wine? Looking at his good brother, Yi Chunfeng felt exceptionally happy as he said this with a smile. Soon. Jian Chen glanced at Jian Mali's pretty face and said with a face full of happiness, Brother Yi, I heard that you have the strength to fight a rank 6 Beast Emperor. Thinking of the rumors, Jian Mali could not believe that his strength had grown to such an extent. Why, do you still want to have a match with me? Yi Chunfeng knew that Jian Mali was a battle maniac, so he said half-jokingly. Don't mess around, Lier, even if you and I join hands now, I'm afraid we won't beat Qingfeng's match. Although Yi Chunfeng deliberately concealed his aura, Jian Chen could feel a terrifying power from him. The bride had arrived. As more and more guests arrived, the Yu family's mansion became more and more lively. The beautiful Yu Nikhang, who wore a phoenix coronet and a red robe, appeared accompanied by 2 pretty maids. The auspicious hour had arrived, and the wedding ceremony began. Under the auspices of a white-haired old man, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang went through the complicated wedding ceremony and finally became a couple. The atmosphere in the mansion reached its peak at this moment. How dare you, Yu family? Who was the one who allowed her to get married? The Yu's favors names's name Yu's names's. The tall and sturdy Qian Huahua appeared in the sky above the Yu family's old residence, accompanied by 2 experts from the Qilin divine nation. She had painted her nails red and had heavy makeup on her face. The lively Yu family instantly quieted down because of their appearance. There was a hint of depression in the quiet atmosphere. Lord Qian Huahua, why are you here? Yu Gu had long expected that Qian Huahua would come. He quickly walked forward and asked with a face full of smiles. If I don't come, you will marry off my good disciple. Qian Huahua said with an unkind expression. He looked at Yi Chunfeng with a murderous look in his eyes. I'm not your disciple. I don't need you to ask who I want to marry. Yu Nikhang retorted loudly as she glared at Qian Huahua with hatred. Humph, none of the people I set my eyes on can escape from my grasp. Qian Huahua coldly snorted and said domineeringly. Damned transvestite, what a big tone. Today, I want to see who can force Nikhang. Yi Chunfeng narrowed his eyes and stood in front of Yu Nikhang. He stared coldly at the arrogant and overbearing Qian Huahua and said arrogantly, Damn it. You're looking for trouble. Qian Huahua hated being called a transvestite the most. He was immediately enraged. A surge of demonic qi was emitted from his body and locked onto Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng laughed coldly and said, You said you don't want to be a perfectly good man, but you want to be a woman. If I were your father, I would strangle you to death when you were born, so that you won't make a fool of yourself. Damn you, I'll grind your bones to dust. Qian Huahua was so angry that his entire body was trembling. The rolling demonic energy transformed into a ferocious wolf head, howling as it bit towards Yi Chunfeng. Seniors, you don't need to do anything. Leave him to me. Although Qian Huahua came from the Kirin kingdom and his strength was far superior to an ordinary level 6 beast emperor, Yi Chunfeng was not afraid at all. He intended to use him as an example to intimidate everyone present. Bang! Yi Chunfeng quickly threw out a punch. Rolling Dao intent and tens of millions of gene of strength merged together. Like a dazzling meteor, the punch smashed the demonic Qi wolf head into pieces. Damned transvestite, show me your true strength. Otherwise, next year today will be your doomsday. Yi Chunfeng put his hands behind his back and looked at Qian Huahua, whose face was distorted with anger, and said domineeringly, Stinking brat, I swear I'll grind your bones to dust. Qian Huahua was mad with anger. He instantly ignited his demonic qi bloodline and turned into a terrifying demonic wolf body, attacking Yi Chunfeng. Chunfeng, be careful. Yu Nikhang was well aware of Qian Huahua's strength. Seeing him attacking madly, she immediately became nervous. Don't worry, he's just a transvestite. Watch me crush him to death. Yi Chunfeng revealed a confident smile. He ignited his Empyrean bloodline and channeled the rolling heavenly force into his body, rapidly increasing his strength. 100 wolves attacked. Qian Huahua continued to deduce powerful Dao intent. In an instant, he turned into hundreds of black wolves and attacked Yi Chunfeng in the void. The wolves howled and attacked Yi Chunfeng, wanting to tear him apart and kill him. Purple beginning, holy thunder, extinguish! When the hundreds of black wolves approached, a deafening sound of thunder resounded from Yi Chunfeng's body. Streaks of purple beginning, holy thunder gushed out from his body, carrying the power to destroy everything. It shattered the black wolves and directly destroyed Qian Huahua's attack. Holy thunder, you've subdued a type of holy thunder. Qian Huahua felt the destructive power from the purple beginning holy thunder. He raised his brows and guessed the grade of the purple beginning holy thunder. His heavily made-up face revealed a look of disbelief. While he was still in shock, Yi Chunfeng suddenly approached with sword steps. The extremely sharp sword diagram shot out a large number of sword Dao patterns and attacked Qian Huahua. Blue sky seal. While Qian Huahua was forcefully resisting the sword Dao pattern attack, Yi Chunfeng quickly formed seals with both hands. The rolling heavenly force and the Dao intent fused together, forming a mountain-like green palm print. It blasted towards Qian Huahua at close range. Caught off guard, Qian Huahua could only defend with all his strength. However, the blue sky seal's attack power was too terrifying. The shocking attack shattered Qian Huahua's defense like breaking dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. It exploded with shocking power and blasted on his body, causing his blood to churn. He was forced to retreat. Boundless heavenly sword. After gaining the upper hand with one strike, Yi Chunfeng immediately took out the Emperor's celestial sword and slashed out a strike that was as vast as the great Tao. The terrifying will of the Tao and the power of the heavens gathered together and directly split the void, slashing Qian Huahua down to the ground from mid-air. Courting death, Qian Huahua was injured. His two followers narrowed their eyes and attacked Yi Chunfeng at the same time, not giving him the chance to continue attacking Qian Huahua. Heavenly Tao disc. Yi Chunfeng's hands moved like flowing water. The Tao intent and heavenly force that he had deduced to the extreme quickly condensed and turned into two heavenly Tao discs. It was like two huge spatial whirlpools that appeared out of nowhere, engulfing the Kirin Kingdom's experts whose expressions changed greatly. Ping after being attacked by Yi Chunfeng's heavenly Tao disc, the attacks of the two Kirin Kingdom's experts, who were level 5 combat beast emperors, were immediately broken. Their bodies exploded and turned into two clouds of blood mist, dying on the spot. The scene of Yi Chunfeng exploding the two Kirin Kingdom's experts had shocked everyone present. The atmosphere in the Yu family became even more oppressive, making it hard for people to breathe. To commemorate, everyone, add Yun Lei's official WeChat account. If there are 1,000 users, I will add a new chapter. Official account address: YLTY83 mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1001. Crazy. Was Yi Chunfeng crazy? He actually killed people from the Kirin Kingdom. Did he not want to live anymore? The Yu family was finished. If the Kirin Kingdom blamed him, the Yu family would also be implicated. Who would have thought that the Yu family's eldest daughter's wedding would cause another unforeseen event? Things were getting more and more lively. After witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng killing two experts from the Kirin Kingdom, the experts from the various major powers who had come to congratulate him began to discuss spiritedly. Many of them revealed shocked expressions, while others rejoiced in Yi Chunfeng's misfortune. Ancestor, should we step in and stop him? Yu Chan also did not expect that Yi Chunfeng would be so crazy as to kill experts from the Kirin Kingdom in front of everyone. Her expression became gloomy. Stop? How can we stop him? Can't you see that Yi Chunfeng is doing this on purpose? He is deliberately causing our relationship with the Kirin Kingdom to worsen, leaving us with no path of retreat. Then, he will tie our Yu family to his warship. The crafty old fox Yu Gu frowned and said, "Then what should we do? Do we really have to give up on our tens of thousands of years of foundation and follow Yi Chunfeng overseas? If that's the case, wouldn't our Yu family become his property?" Yu Chan felt as if the situation had gone out of control, and her hatred for Yi Chunfeng grew even more. We can't afford to offend the Kirin Kingdom, and we can't afford to offend Yi Chunfeng either. The only thing we can do now is wait and see how the situation develops. Yu Gu sighed helplessly. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect that Yi Chunfeng would grow to such an extent in just 3 short years. He had directly forced the Yu family into a dead end. In his heart, he was constantly making choices. He was deciding the fate of the Yu family. Boy, I don't care who you are, I'm going to kill you. As an expert of the Kirin kingdom, Qian Huahua had never suffered such humiliation before. He angrily screamed and flew out of the crater that was full of cracks. He held a low-grade Taoist spear in his hand and pierced it towards Yi Chunfeng. Sword finger Yi Chunfeng fused the sword soul into his right index finger, and a sword light sputtered out. The resplendent sword light dyed the air, and changed the color of the sword light. Then, his finger pointed at the incomparably sharp spear point. Crack! Under the attack of Yi Chunfeng's finger, the spear tip of the low-grade Dao artifact immediately cracked. Qian Huahua felt a force beyond his imagination pass through the spear and into his arm, causing his arm to feel numb. What? Was his finger a mid-grade Dao artifact? Qian Huahua's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng's finger had broken his low-grade Dao artifact spear. Just as he was about to withdraw his spear, Yi Chunfeng exerted his strength again. The terrifying finger force directly crushed the spear point. Then, like a cold star, it pointed at Qian Huahua's chest. Sensing the crisis, Qian Huahua abandoned the broken spear and continuously blasted out a terrifying Dao intent. It evolved into various attack forms. Only then did he resist Yi Chunfeng's finger attack. Damned transvestite, your strength is only SOSO. Yi Chunfeng looked at Qian Huahua, whose face was gloomy and uncertain, and said in a mocking tone, "Boy, today I'll let you see the Kirin kingdom's inherited magical power." Qian Huahua's eyes spurted out thick flames. He used his final trump card. The power of his bloodline was completely ignited. His strong body constantly mutated and transformed into a 3-headed and 6-armed man. In each of his 6 arms, there was a low-grade Dao artifact with extraordinary power. God, the Kirin kingdom actually inherited such a magical power. It's really amazing. The heritage of the divine kingdom was too terrifying. Qian Huahua's fighting strength in this form would probably soar several times. Seeing the Qian Huahua's 3-headed and 6-armed form, the quiet banquet hall was filled with gasps. The magical power of the 3-headed and 6-armed man shocked everyone. The 3-headed and 6-armed man was a good magical power. Yi Chunfeng had a strong interest in the 3-headed and 6-armed man. If he had the chance, he would like to learn this magical power. Die! Qian Huahua shouted. His 6 thick arms danced at the same time. He waved 6 low-grade Dao artifacts and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Cosmos sword formation. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng shot out 18 cosmos swords from his body. They quickly condensed into a sword formation and faced the 3-headed and 6-armed Qian Huahua. So many Dao artifacts. Where did Yi Chunfeng get all these Dao artifacts? Yu Gu, Yu Chan, and the others were envious when they saw Yi Chunfeng summon 18 Dao swords. There were even 2 mid-grade Dao artifacts among them. They felt that even the Kirin kingdom's Qian Huahua's heritage was not as deep as Yi Chunfeng's. Sword Soul Amplification. As Yi Chunfeng controlled the Cosmos sword formation to attack fiercely, he merged his Sword Soul into the sword formation. Suddenly, a sword diagram appeared and amplified the attack power of the Cosmos sword formation. It instantly suppressed Qian Huahua's fierce attacks. Sword Dao diagram. What kind of inheritance did Yi Chunfeng obtain? Not only was his attack power ridiculously strong, but he was also able to cultivate his Dao intent to such an extent. Ancestor, who do you think is more valuable, Yi Chunfeng or the Kirin kingdom? After seeing Yi Chunfeng continuously reveal his trump cards, Yu Chan's heart was continuously attacked. She sent a voice transmission to Yu Gu, who had a gloomy expression. If Yi Chunfeng was given enough time and space to grow, his future achievements would be limitless. He would even have a chance to ascend to the heaven region. However, it was hard to say if he had a bad relationship with the Kirin kingdom. With the heritage of the Kirin kingdom, it was enough to kill him in the bud. Yu Gu's eyes flickered. He had already made a choice in his heart. Yi Chunfeng and Qian Huahua fought intensely for half an incense stick's time. Suddenly, a powerful dizzying force blasted into Qian Huahua's soul sea, causing his soul to tremble. His reaction speed became slightly slower. Qiankuan's sword formation combine. Seizing this excellent opportunity, Yi Chunfeng controlled the 18 Qiankuan swords to combine together. They transformed into a huge Qiankuan sword that could split the heavens and split the earth. With the power to annihilate everything, it slashed towards Qian Huahua. As Qian Huahua let out a painful howl, 3 of his arms were chopped off by the huge Qiankuan sword. A large amount of blood spurted out. When Qian Huahua endured the intense pain and wanted to dodge, Yi Chunfeng used the dizzying technique again and blasted it into his soul sea, causing his reaction speed to pause for a moment. Then, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Qiankuan sword to cut off the other 3 arms. Blood flowed out uncontrollably. Chunfeng, don't kill him. Just when Yi Chunfeng wanted to kill Qian Huahua in a spurt of energy, Yu Gu stepped on the void and appeared in front of Qian Huahua. He shouted loudly, "Brat, just you wait for my Kirin kingdom's revenge." Qian Huahua looked at Yi Chunfeng with hatred and let out a vicious scream. "Fine, I'll wait. But you won't live to see that day." As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Qiankuan sword formation to fuse together. It tore through the void and intertwined with a large number of innate Tao patterns. It was like a rushing river that slashed towards Yu Gu and Qian Huahua. Feeling the terror of the Qiankuan sword formation and coming into contact with Yi Chunfeng's ruthless eyes, Yu Gu smelled the thick threat of death. It forced him to dodge instinctively, and when Qian Huahua dodged, he was hit by the dizzying technique again and froze in the void. Qi. The Qiankuan sword stirred the void and slashed down, directly splitting Qian Huahua's body diagonally. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng appeared beside Qian Huahua, who was vomiting blood violently. He used the power of the God-Eater brain to search his soul. "Just you wait for my Kirin kingdom's revenge." The lifeless Qian Huahua let out a shriek. He didn't give Yi Chunfeng a chance to search his soul. He detonated his soul sea and died by self-explosion. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1002. Yi Chunfeng, why did you kill him? Do you know the consequences of killing Qian Huahua? Are you trying to push the Yu family into a pit of fire? After witnessing the scene of Qian Huahua exploding, Yu Gu felt a surge of hot blood rush into his soul. He was so angry that his entire body trembled. Watermark advertisement test. Could it be that they weren't called over by you? Yi Chunfeng asked playfully as his eyes narrowed and flickered with a sharp light. Yi Chunfeng, what do you mean by this? I've already agreed to let Nikheng marry you. Why are you still doubting our intentions? Yu Gu said angrily. I don't know who wants to harm me, but as long as it's my enemy, I won't be merciful. Yi Chunfeng's lips curled into an arrogant smile as he said domineeringly. After speaking, he ignored Yu Gu's fiery gaze and took away Qian Huahua and the others' belongings. He then went to Yuni Chang's side and held her soft hand. Accompanied by Kong Sungchen and the others, they left the banquet hall that was filled with the smell of blood. After the main characters, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikheng, had left, the various powerhouses who had come to congratulate them also left one after another. The Yu family became deserted. Qingfeng, you've killed Qian Huahua and the others. You've definitely angered the Kirin kingdom. Yu Nikheng held Yi Chunfeng's hand tightly and said with a worried expression. I killed Qian Huahua because I wanted the Yu family to choose between me and the Kirin kingdom. If the Yu family chose me, they would lose a lot, but they would also gain a lot. If I have the ability in the future, I will make the Yu family the #1 holy land in the eastern continent. Unfortunately, the Yu family still chose the Kirin kingdom. Yi Chunfeng looked at Yu Nichang's delicate face and slowly said, "Then what should we do? The Kirin kingdom's strength is too terrifying. No, we have to leave the Yu family tonight." Yu Nichang gently bit her red lips and made a huge decision. "Don't be afraid of Nichang. Since I dared to kill the people of the Kirin kingdom, I'm naturally not afraid of their revenge. Furthermore, I want to give the Yu family one last choice. After all, the Yu family was Yu Nichang's root. For the sake of Yu Nichang, Yi Chunfeng didn't want to go too far. Moreover, even if an accident did happen, Yi Chunfeng was not afraid. With the universe realm, even if all the experts of the Kirin kingdom came out, they would not be able to harm them. "Qingfeng, thank you," Yu Nichang said emotionally as she tightly pressed her head against Yi Chunfeng's chest. "Qingfeng, the four of us will help you keep watch tonight. You can rest assured and consummate your marriage with your bride." Bai Feng looked at the heaven-made couple and said boldly, "Then I'll have to trouble the four of you." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng hugged the beautiful and charming Yu Nichang and walked into the bedroom. It was decorated with a large red sheet character and red candles. After closing the door and setting up a soundproof restriction, the atmosphere in the room immediately became ambiguous. Looking at the moon raiment that he had been dreaming about day and night, the moon raiment that was even more beautiful than a fairy, Yi Chunfeng could not help but be infatuated. He gently lowered his head and kissed Moon Raiment's moist lip. "Qingfeng, the smell of blood on your body is a bit heavy. Let me help you take a bath." After kissing for a while, Yu Nichang gently said. She helped Yi Chunfeng take off his blood-stained clothes and walked with him to the tub of water with rose petals floating in the air. "Nichang, aren't you going to take a bath?" Looking at Yu Nichang's beautiful and charming appearance, Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of a naughty smile. "If you want, I'll accompany you." The two of them had already done the deed of husband and wife. Yu Nichang was also not a bashful person. Under Yi Chunfeng's burning gaze, Yu Nichang gently unbuttoned her clothes, revealing her snow-white skin and seductive body. Under the flickering candlelight, it was covered with a layer of enchanting halo. Looking at Yu Nichang's flawless and perfectly proportioned body, Yi Chunfeng's heart was ignited. He directly carried her by the waist and walked into the tub. Soon, dazzling and enchanting sounds resounded in the room. The pair of newlyweds who had been separated for a long time and had broken through many barriers were completely intoxicated in joy. Under the enchanting spring scenery, they unreservedly demanded, making people unable to distinguish between dream and reality. The enchanting movements were captivating. The two of them were intoxicated from the tub to the big bed. They both wanted to give their best to each other and leave an indelible mark. Just as the two of them were immersed in joy, Yu Gu, Yu Chan, and the others were deeply worried because of the deaths of Qian Huahua and the other two. "Ancestor, what should we do? If the Kirin kingdom blames us, we won't be able to bear the consequences." Yu Chan's brows were tightly knitted together. The development of the situation was completely out of her control. She hated Yi Chunfeng to the core. "Sigh, I also didn't expect that Yi Chunfeng would be so ruthless. He directly killed Qian Huahua and cut off our path of retreat, forcing us to choose him." Yu Gu sighed softly. However, Yu Gu didn't think that Yi Chunfeng didn't need to go through so much trouble and directly take Yu Nichang away. That way, Qian Huahua wouldn't spare the Yu family. Yes, if we didn't choose him, perhaps he would do something even more extreme. Yu Rao's brows revealed a trace of viciousness as she said in a low voice. Yi Chunfeng was indeed very outstanding. His talent and heart of martial arts were rarely seen in 10,000 years. His methods were ruthless, and he controlled a huge force. However, compared to the Kirin kingdom, he was somewhat overshadowed. Yu Gu looked at the starlight outside the window and made the final decision. "Old ancestor, if we choose to join the Kirin kingdom, will the Kirin Kingdom accept us? Yuchan asked worriedly. If the Kirin Kingdom didn't accept them, then their end would be very miserable. If it was before, I wouldn't have the confidence. But now, with Yi Chunfeng as a bargaining chip, I have 90% confidence. Yu Gu revealed a sly smile and said, All right, I'll go to the East Sea Palace now and pay a visit to the people of the Kirin Kingdom. During the time that I'm not here, do everything you can to make Yi Chunfeng stay. Don't let him leave. If necessary, do something to Nikhang. Yu Gu instructed. Rest assured, old ancestor, I'll make Yi Chunfeng happy for a few days. Yu Chan's eyes flashed with a ruthless light. She didn't consider Yi Chunfeng as her son-in-law. The next morning, gentle sunlight passed through the window and illuminated the dark room, waking up Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang from their sweet dreams. Looking at Yu Nikhang snuggled in his arms with a faint smile on her face, Yi Chunfeng's heart was filled with happiness. After marrying Yu Nikhang and having sex with her, Yi Chunfeng found that not only did his heart of martial arts not weaken, it became even more firm, which made him quite surprised. Nikhang, when I went out to sea this time, I inadvertently obtained a dual cultivation divine ability. I wonder if you're interested in cultivating it with me? Gently stroking Yu Nichang's jet-black long hair, Yi Chunfeng thought of the divine ability 36 forms of acacia that Lu Mang gave him, and said with a smirk. Dual cultivation divine ability. Yu Nichang's blurred eyes revealed a trace of charm, and said, Tell me honestly, have you ever cultivated this dual cultivation divine ability with others? No, Yi Chunfeng rubbed his nose and quickly said. You're honest. If you dare to cultivate with others, I won't spare you. Yu Nikhang revealed a trace of charming smile and said, Tell me, how do I cultivate this dual cultivation divine ability? It's very simple. While Yi Chunfeng taught Yu Nikhang the posture of the 36 forms of acacia, his pair of big hands wandered around her sensitive parts, causing Yu Nichang's whole body to tremble. Soon, the two people groped while cultivating the 36 forms. In the boundless spring room, a cheerful movement sounded. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you can see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.